Morning, everyone. Welcome back into Tuesday morning of this new week. Last day of the month to be trading, last day of the quarter. And we remain for now with a bit of indecision in the market. Overall bias, higher time frame bias, daily, weekly remains up. But it's possible that yesterday the market tried to put in a lower high. Of course, we do not have confirmation of that. All right. So let's go over through this daily chart. This for me is a weak high or a soft high. All right. I don't think there's enough excess in here. So I think there's a good chance we come back and visit it. Yesterday, we failed to get back there. Right. We were trying to play for that rotation up to clear it out. Couldn't do it. You'll notice we are now stuck at this 5-day. We are yet to mean revert to the 20-day, which the SPY has already done. Right. So we have divergence there. And we've got this lower Bollinger Band starting to try and catch up, and the upper Bollinger Band starting to point down if we cannot continue this breakout. What's key is this pivot here and here. All right, so Friday, let's just go over last week. Monday push, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a turn back inside. All right. This was the close of the week. We've not filled that gap yet in regular trading hours. All right, so we left it open yesterday. We've still left it open overnight. That gap is basically 725. So I'm watching to see if the Qs want to fill that gap because we've already filled it on the spiders. All right, so worth being aware of this gap right here. And of course, as we talked about, and I noted in the weekly newsletter, that 800-ish level is your over-under. All right. Over, back test, over, under, back test, under, over, back test. All right, there or thereabouts. You can see how key it is. They're trying to make decisions between 800 and 725. Why is it so important? Well, it's possible that we have a lower high here set, although I'm not convinced. And that will only get confirmed once we break down underneath this low that made this high. And ideally, they need to come and back test this again. Right, so bears will be looking for this move. Where will that move happen? More likely if we get stuck under the back test of the gap fill, the weekly gap fill. If we fail that, there's possibility to come and try and attack these levels. All right. All the time it's holding that and it can trade under it a little bit and then reclaim. Then we're looking for bullish moves back up here. Remember, the overall trend is bullish. All right. And it's not just bullish from here. It is bullish for a long time. Right, all the way back to here. All right. This might build out liquidity like we did here. The difference is here we had a nice excess high. We pulled back. They tried to set that lower high. They failed. All right. They failed again. We cleared it out. We came back. We failed to take out the low. They tried to retest that low. They failed again. And then we rallied. It might be that we build out some form of liquidity here for a bit. Right, it feels a little bit exhaustive at the moment, but you know, we will see. We have data coming today, 9:45, 10 o'clock. All right, 9:45, 10 o'clock to be aware of. As always, we dial back down into the hourly charts to get a bit more data. So just watch this chart here with me. This right here is the previous week profile. All right, not current week, previous week profile. You can see that from the Friday close, there's your gap fill right here. All right, this is your gap fill area, this block here. In fact, I'm going to make this green so I remember that this one is for the fill. All right, so that's a possible area of interest. From there, all we've done is a squeeze higher, a pullback and hold, a trap high at the moment because we failed through that trap high. So on an hourly, technically, we're bearish all the time. We're staying heavy underneath 871s. All right, we're bearish under here, but it's possible that this is a 1, 2. If we reclaim that sort of 871, 850, a slingshot up can happen. So you can see, let me clean this up. Here is the pattern right now. All right, it needs to make a decision. We can build out more liquidity in here. That will be chopped. I'm not really interested in that. If we break above sort of this 870s, 840s, 870s, and we are able to hold above previous day point of control, then we probably come and test previous day value area high. If we get through that, we're going to squeeze and take this out. If we get through that, And I'm pretty confident at that point we will make new all-time highs. All right. If we trap up here and we sweep 870 or we get stuck under 870, it doesn't matter which, we're probably going to rotate to value area low. If we fail value area low and we fail previous day New York session low, we will come back and test that gap. This is going to be the key. Do they find a bid at this gap to go back upside, right? Or is this a failure from buyers to hold price? We trade into weekly point of control where you can see we've developed a lot of volume, and a failure of there really does start opening the gate for a bigger drive down. All right, so lots to play for today, but my expectation, until it proves otherwise, is that we trade in this sort of range here. All right, so there's not a lot to play with. 870 to 760, not much there, less than 100 points. That's my expectation. All right, I will wait for it to prove. If we can get above and hold, we're bullish. If we get below the weekly gap and hold, we're bearish. If we're in here, we're probably trading edges. All right, remember that we're not in alignment. Why? The daily and weekly want to trade upside. The hourly right now is stuck in a range downside from this high, but still holding these pivots. All right, we are building out liquidity. Be very, very aware of that. We're building out liquidity. If we zoom in above, you can see the build out of liquidity on a 5-minute even better. We're producing higher lows and lower highs. All right, we're wedged in here right now. It's starting to get tight. All right, it is respecting this at the moment. So another thing to be aware of. So breakout and a hold, bullish. A break below and rejection, maybe bearish down to, where's my green gap? Oh, have I just got rid of him accidentally? This guy's got to stay green. There we go. Maybe down to this guy. All right, under here, we can get very, very weak if they keep rejecting it. All right, so that's your range built out for you. You should understand what we're doing today. News coming 9:45, 10 o'clock. Do not forget that. Do not forget that. Let's move up timeframes. All we've really got here is a build out of liquidity. So Asia traded inside of the previous day. London expanded underneath the New York low, found a bid, traded back up towards Asia high, and is stuck. All right, so we're just stuck in this block right now. It's previous day's action, Asia's action, and London's action with the rejection underneath so far. That's all we're doing. Trading back and forth, and we're looking pretty much similar on the other indexes, right? Yes, same kind of thing. Blocked in here, came and cleaned out these lows, higher low, higher low. It's trying to return back in this block, right? If it can return in this block and hold, there is a possible rotation higher if it can take out Asia. And then we're right back into this supply chain at the top. So we will see. We will see. Let's have a quick look at the VIX. Move this to a 5-minute. All right, gapping up on the VIX. Right, so you can see yesterday we found a bid of this breakout pullback level. So breakout, pullback. This is your first higher low on the VIX. Grind, 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 grind. Horrible action up here. Back to the breakout pullback level. Bid off it, gapping up. All right, so let's see if the VIX continues this. We're going to see sell side pressure. If we fill this gap and we go sideways, we're going to get chopped. And if we drift back down to this, maybe we get some bullish action coming to the market. Have a look at the mag here, folks. Actually, let me just check the 10-year first quickly, see where we're at. Still pulling off that 20s. All right, so 10-year, if it finds a bid here, it can try and have another go at this. Remember, if we take this out, market will be very bearish. All right, I would say it might take time to develop, but if the VIX finds a higher low here and takes this out and builds this liquidity, market will be bearish. But at the moment, it's okay. It's rejecting it. It's a good sign for the market. Let's go through the mag. All right, Apple. Still building liquidity at the high. Still, I'm expecting an all-time high breakout on Apple. It's as simple as that. I'm still holding, still swing long from 202s. So look what we're doing on the day, pretty much sideways here. Slight gap down, but nothing really in it. Nothing really in it. Holding previous day lows. Amazon looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Still inside previous day's range, but holding towards the high side of previous day range, right? That PDC. All right, can it break out? You're looking for a 223 breakout on Amazon for anyone trading it. And then you're looking for a push towards 225 and a clear out. Goog, weak. You can see that straight away, weak. So yesterday, Goog, big trend day down, coming and retesting this kind of level here. If it snaps underneath 240s, or look out below. I don't know what's under that. We're going to have a look. If it snaps 240s, you're looking 238.50, 236.65. Really, we lack much structure. This was not a nice build, so it can come and clean some of this up. Wouldn't be very bullish in Goog right now. Meta, slight gap up here again. Sell off yesterday, holding Friday's level into sort of Friday's close. Can it find a bid here? In a big downtrend here, Meta, multiple session downtrend. They will be looking for relief. They will need to produce high and higher low for that breakout. And failure of 236, and I'd say again, so similar kind of thing. Look out below. It's got these stops to come and clean out. So 737s. You want it really to be holding bids. Don't want it to take out previous day low here. 739s. Microsoft, that's a better looking chart for bullish action. All right, you can see a build here. All right, looks much better. All the time we're bidding over 510s. Looks okay on Microsoft. Slight gap down at the open though. So none of the market gapping up. Most are gapping down or sideways. Slight gap up here on Nvidia. This has been a terrible trader recently. It's got to be frustrating those longs, but it still looks good for that breakout. Here. Look how many wicks we have up there. I mean, this is awful. This is just awful. Will be frustrating traders. This will be an options market, no doubt. Let's clean this up. All right, Nvidia just needs a clean break. But low, I'm just going to call it 85 because I don't trust it until then. 185. It's very clear. Every time it's had the chance to do it, yesterday included, we came very close to taking out the previous day or previous week highs. It came up and failed. All right, but it is holding above the 180s, so this can just be a liquidity build, inverse head and shoulder to go higher. That looks the better chart today, I would say. So if Nvidia gets going, market might get going. How are we doing here? 3 minutes left. Tesla, been strong, continues to be strong by the looks of it. Yeah, holding the top side of this range, so you can see a range build out. All right, rotation. Can it complete the rotation for a breakout? If it fails the rotation, then you know we come back down. So megaphone pattern there. And overall, as the mag, let's look at them as an index, equally weighted. Okay, they filled the gap from yesterday, so we gapped up as a mag, filled it, trading sideways. This fill has not been done on the QQQ, okay? It's been done on the mag, it's been done on the spiders, it's not been done on the QQQ. Be aware of it. Right, chance for a slingshot if we can hold. All right, that has you covered. So expecting rotation, expecting chop, not expecting too much more until it proves otherwise. We have to be very patient. We have news at 9:45, 10 o'clock. Maybe after that news, we get going if we're lucky. Let me save this and restart it because trading view's gone a bit wonky. Let's reload that and let's see who's in chat. So good morning, everyone. Morning, Noah, Mike, Jesse, Toby, Clint, Thumper, Jeff, John W, Teresa, Glenn, Contorted, Peter, Marek, Awani, Troy, Silem, InfoRisk, Brandon, Eva, Kat, Sergio, Raphael, Christy, Patrick, Michael, Myron, Priska, Bradley, Bart, Omalabi, Willa Williams, JJ, One on One, Richard, Jacob, Peter, Ilias, Owen J, Greg M, JJ, GG, PD, Gatney, and Real Trini. Good morning, everyone. Make sure you hit that button for me nice and early. Hit that like and subscribe button, turn the bell on. And we're opening up right at the VWAP. Never a good sign. Or for me, often a sign of a choppy day. As a reminder, I shouldn't need to remind you, today is the last day you can get the 80% Apex sale, code FCT, and the last day to get 40% off 2 accounts on Tradeify as well. Everything is in the chat, folks. So if you check the links down below, you will see all the right links for you to get a sale on those. But last day for Apex, that's the big one for me. All right, let's see how we go here. Flush to start the day, coming back to test previous day value area low. Most of the mag trading downside here, other than Nvidia and Apple. So we're retesting previous day value area low here, and what a surprise, we found a bid off it and we traded straight back to VWAP. So previous day value area low, straight back to VWAP. Failing so far underneath previous day close right now. So here's value yet again. Are they going to flush through this and start some heavier action, or is this just a trap to go upside? Remember, there's lots of liquidity to aim for down here, all the way down to 55s if they do get follow through. Big if they do get follow through. Oh, do not move that, Alex. Let's get these levels lined up. Sorry, I've got to catch up on Ninja Trader. Make sure everything's lining up. 840s. Okay. So currently holding previous day value area low. Trading inside Globex, trading inside the previous day's range. We've got gap fill potential below, and we've got a squeeze potential above. And we need to let this just calm down and decide what it is it wants to do. SPY having a stronger start here this morning. I'll give you a little readout. Tesla over 0.5% down. Nvidia 0.16% up. That's giving some back. Microsoft 0.34% down. Meta 0.74% down. Google 0.83% down. Amazon 0.45% down. Apple 0.20% up. So most of the mag are currently red here, folks. Most of the mag are red here. We're testing this trend line again, testing value area low again. If we trade through this, we might well come and clean this up down towards Globex. We have to see. Let's have a look at the books. One thing we haven't really looked at much today. So there's bids right now at the 80s and not too much below. All right, just doing this dance. I wonder if we can get some follow through here and take out some of these Asian levels, 87, 74s, and 56s. Especially if Nvidia can go green to red. Right now, we're just doing a dance. I'd like to see follow through here. Here we go. Right, can we get all the way down? So in this short now, beautiful. Acceptance lower. Can we get down into those 55s? Would be ideal if we can really flush, but it's already taking some profit here as this first moves very early in the day. We've just taken out 87s. We're looking for a wash now, 73s and down to those 50s. Right, taking this out, and then we're going to look for down here. Beautiful. So I'm going to get rid of this now that we're washing through it. I'm looking for an extension into 50s here, which will be Globex. And if we can get down here, this would be the previous week gap fill, remember. Nice early trade. Here's coming back to its VWAP, so that's starting to fail as well. So playing over under here's on VWAP for ES. We want to see a push up here and more of a failure, ideally on NQ. You don't want recovery, so value area low, basically your risk here. Any recovery of that, you want to be risk off. But if they push up here and fail value area low or in front of value area low, then I would expect the market to move lower. There's the first little sign of a push up. Here's the break lower, fantastic. All right, and we're almost there, folks. So you should be covering into this and then holding runners for that gap fill potential. Beautiful start to the day. So covers into here. Remember, this is Globex low. And if we go through there, then this is your gap fill potential for runners. It's a nice early start to the day. Doesn't get much easier than this when it actually wants to play like this, fantastic. ES still trying to do the same move, folks. Nvidia now gone green to red like we talked about. Apple the only one green on the day. Expecting a bit of a reaction here, so make sure you're covering some. And we can hold runners for that break of Globex and previous week close, which is down in here. All right, 26s. So we got into the 50s. Here's the bounce off demand. You're watching ES and spiders for this back test of VWAP. If they fail VWAP, we might get some follow through here on NQ. But early day, early set trade in the session, Nvidia trying to go green, red to green. So it went green to red. It's trying to go red to green. Just be aware of that. You should be covering some here. We are underneath previous day low on the Qs. Not there yet on NQ, but we're there on the Qs, right? So this is a big, big level. If they want to bid off it, be smart. I mean, be getting squeezed out here. Make sure you're covering some, and you can hold runners for lower. Looking to see if we can get through Globex on the runners. Nvidia starting to find a bid here, folks. Be careful. Be careful. Need to build out liquidity. If they recover previous day value area low, then this will be a failure outside. We haven't taken Globex yet. I'd like to see us take Globex, but it doesn't have to. Remember, NQ recently has had a horrible habit of leaving this liquidity. Over and over again, we have seen divergence and the leave of liquidity. It's been gross, so you have to be more and more proactive, I would say, in this market. Here's bigger squeeze up towards these 80s. I'd say in front of VWAP is going to be key. Nvidia having a big old push up here now, almost 0.5% up, right? That is found a bid, and if the rest of the market follows, it will squeeze out. So be very, very cautious here. I would love to see some follow through, but we're going to be cautious. We know how many times we've seen horrible V-shaped recoveries off those early flushes. ES stuck at its VWAP. Maybe we're going to get follow through here. Can we get back down underneath Globex? We're almost there. Come on. Here's Globex tap. All right, so there's your next fill. All right, and your runners now down into here, please, folks. So you filled here. You should be runners fall down into here now. So here's the trade we broke down this morning. There's your last push. You have to be careful here for the runner. There's the acceptance lower. You're looking for a breakdown into here now. So you should be TP1, TP2, TP3 in here. Fantastic. What a start to the day. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful start to the day, folks. That is what I'm talking about. That's what we want to see. All right, runners only now, folks. It's a decent move. It is a decent move to start the day. Might see some reaction here. So risk off now, just waiting. Hopefully lots of you got that. Nice. It was very early. W's in chat. We went and cleaned out that liquidity. I'd love to see a gap fill. Market might find a bid once we find that gap fill. So just be aware of that. Be aware of that. Market might find a bid once we find a gap fill. I'm going to watch Nvidia here. Back through its VWAP. Is it taking out any liquidity? Still holding very, very strong Nvidia. Almost to that gap fill, folks. Green box is basically your gap fill, your weekly gap fill. We have a ton of liquidity there. Make sure you're zoomed out. All right, understand where we are on the higher time frame, where we're trading into. This is where we broke out. Think about this sort of W. We broke out. This can be a back test of it. All right. You do not want to be adding short here. If you should already be short, and you can wait for this kind of move here if they're going to offer a reshort today. You don't need to be adding short in this drive down. You should already be short and covering some here. And if we build something out, we can go again like we talked about earlier. If we trap down here, it would not surprise me either. I am not going to give two Fs about Trump speaking anymore. This guy just goes on repeat for hours. I'm not going to pay too much attention to it. I'm going to trade the technicals. He irritated the hell out of me yesterday, turned up an hour and a bit late, waffled about a load of bollocks, making things up as he went along. I'm not going to give it any attention. I'm going to just trade the charts in front of me. Lots of you getting it. Nice. Omalabi got it. Martin got it. Peter got it. Bart got it. Still have a runner. Nice, Peter. Jeff got it. We're stressing on that. I caught it early. Came out with profit, though. Nice. Starting to see some sort of reaction here, folks. Starting to see some sort of reaction here. ES is also trying to find a bid. Has still not cleared out the levels, but it is trying to find a bid. Be aware of that. Be aware of these bids. Nice, Bradley. You should be runners only right now. All right. Do not let this squeeze you out and keep adding into it. So Fed Collins speaking right now. I'm ignoring everything Trump's talking about. It's going to be mostly nonsense, no doubt about it. He's talking about he sent submarines to Russia. Inner city's a big part of war. I mean, the guy doesn't know what he's talking about at this point. He changes subject to subject. In Discord yesterday, we played Trump Lottery or Trump Bingo. We said big, bigger, great, greatest, Sleepy Joe. Full house. Got all of them yesterday. Right. Is there more downside here? ES keeps getting stuck at those VWAPs. All right. Same on Nvidia. Rest of the market is now red. Apple's now gone red as well. It is now red as well. No worries, Teresa. Yeah, it's a nice play. Just be careful here. We're starting to build out some volume down here. You can see it. Bears will want to fill that gap. Bulls will want to re-squeeze this higher. The book doesn't look too thick. Let's move into this book here. Still liquidity lower to go and pick up if it wants to underneath the current lows into that new previous week gap, previous week close. That 6,700 on ES is a huge, huge, huge options level. That is a massive over-under level. I can tell you that now. Traded back and forth to there the last few days. It is massive, massive level. If they get under that and stay under that, the market will get heavy. At the moment, we're protecting it. And this is not the first time. Every dip into that or under it has been absorbed. It's worth being aware of. Video trying to get going here. It is trying to get going and break out through current high of day. So be aware. Rest of the market all heavy and red. Back to Globex. We're not getting any acceptance under Globex yet for that gap fill. We haven't had acceptance under Globex for the gap fill yet. Be nice if it came. You're out, and you got Nvidia out of sync right now. That's the problem. So strong. It wants to break out. So all the time that's happening, this is what you're going to get on the Qs. ES having a drive back through VWAP. Now, does it get acceptance now? Remember, we can come and clean all this up on the Qs. This is previous day value area low. All right. If we get acceptance above here, it will mean this is a failed auction underneath previous day's value. All the time we reject this, all right, then this is possible. Under here, they can bid up, or they can decide that, hey, we're going to go back into the previous range from that Thursday, Friday last week. So here's the squeeze. And guess who's leading this charge? You know who's leading this charge? Nvidia. So it's going back towards previous day high now. Back towards previous day high. ES getting going here as well, folks. So I'm going to wait here and see how we react at that value area low from yesterday. It is actually where the old trend line was up here as well that we broke down from. So I'm just waiting. I'm not in this early long. I want to wait and see. Big push here from Nvidia. Big reaction off that 6,700 on ES as well. Right, here's previous day value area low. So you can see sellers are trying to defend this with the trend line all in one place. Sellers are trying to defend it. Nvidia starting to pull back. This looks very bullish to me though still. We have to see what Nvidia does here. Has ES got any more juice higher? If we can reclaim value area low, it's possible to squeeze back into the New York session high of day, which would be the 30s, which is what we're trying to do here. All right, there's value area low reclaim and VWAP. Here comes the squeeze. So small size long here. See if we can get acceptance through VWAP now. See if we can base up here. If we can, we're trading all the way up into this. All right. So if it can get acceptance here, we're trading up into these. Be very, very careful here. This would be a bit choppy. If they want to come back and test this, they can. Nvidia getting a little bit stuck here. VIX getting crushed here underneath previous day high. It might do its gap fill here on the VIX, which will help the market move up if we can. Nvidia getting stuck. What are you getting stuck at there? Start of supply from yesterday. 183s, 183s. All right, so no acceptance above value area low. Taking this off already. BE on this one. Can wait for it to build out and rejoin if it really wants to get going. ES looks great. ES looks fantastic. Fantastic. Would have been nice if we closed this gap first, I'll be honest. If we closed this gap first, it would have been a nicer play. So I am aware of that. There is still a gap fill potential here on the NQ, which I want to be very, very, very aware of. If Nvidia can't hold 8260s, I'd be concerned. It just dipped into it and found a bid. Rest of the market's still in a sell, remember? Rest of the market is heavy. Need to be aware of that. You've got an all red mag other than Nvidia right now. He is failing heavy up there. So turbulent times here. Rejecting previous day value area low, so we're not through it. We had to go through it, couldn't get through it. That gap fill was still down there. Nvidia having a decent push. ES pulling back here. Market very unsure what it wants to do by the looks of it at the moment. Whippy action. So back underneath previous day value area low range. I'm not going to think about longs until it can show me it wants to recover that. I'd like to see some of the rest of the market go red to green. Apple now gone red to green. The rest of the market is lagging well behind. It's not like it's close. It's lagging well behind. They're going to have to get going. Back towards VWAP. We're still not through VWAP here, folks. We're still not through value area low. ES is pulling back. Nvidia is squeezing. It's going for that previous day high. So Nvidia wants to do the move. Can the rest of the market find a way of joining in? That's the thing. We can't trade if it's just one stock. We need the rest of the market to be like, hey, okay, tech's moving out. Let's move with it. The rest of the market's heavy. Tesla's heavy. Microsoft's heavy. Meta's very heavy. Google's very heavy. Amazon's very heavy. Apple's trying to join the party. So no alignment here. We talk about this alignment issue a lot. This is what we're having. And the problem for me is we're not above value area low and we have this down here. So if sellers keep protecting this, this is still available. If sellers fail and we recover, this is available. Yes, back to VWAP already. Remember, we've got news, or news just came out at 9:45. We've got news 10 o'clock, the bigger news at 10 o'clock. All right, ES rejecting its VWAPs. We're into VWAP right here on the spiders now. That gap fills still potential, but we have built intraday liquidity down here, so it's a bit iffy. Are we going to go for gap fill now? Looks more like it. It's crazy because Apple's fine a bid, so we're just in a mess here. Market cannot get in alignment right now. Big sell from the spiders. Lack of alignment in the Qs. gap fill potential there, and spiders can keep holding. Remember, 6,700 ES is your number. It is your number. And re-tapping into this area where we bid off this morning. I'm going to get rid of this. This is the area where we bid off this morning. If they fail through here, we've already started to flip the VWAP. If we fail through here, I think gap fill is available. Now that we've rejected value area low, failed to squeeze through it. Be very cautious here with how Nvidia and Apple are acting though. Feels very iffy here, very washy, very trappy. If you get acceptance under 6,700 on ES, then I think there's a good chance we roll over on the Qs. And that's probably the main level. So this is our breakout point where we break out from. This morning, you can see it right here. So we filled this imbalance, retested it. If we get stuck under here, we'd probably trade down to here. If we hold this, we probably have another attempt up to here. So this is the trap, all in here. It needs to make a decision outside of this area. Tapping back into 6,700 again on ES here. So far, finding a bid there again on ES. Still inside Globex range right now. Yeah, after jolts, yeah, not a bad idea. I mean, you're only 8.5 minutes away. VIX not filled its gap yet. Reclaimed previous day high, so partial gap fill on VIX. Like I said, I feel better about the longs in general if we fill the gap first. All right, if we fill this gap down towards the weekly close first, because it's a big imbalance just hanging out down there. All right, are we going to get continuation? Is there any juice in this market to just go and fill that gap? Kind of gross here, but they defended value area low. That's very important. Nvidia pulling back towards VWAP, and be careful if they find bits at VWAP here. Be careful with the alignment. So ES still at that 6,700. That is your over under on ES. No doubt about it. That is your over under on ES. And guess what? They're trying to bid off of it again. Until that breaks and lets go, I'm very cautious on this market. I think it feels very trappy. There you go. Look at that bid off it. Strong bid, strong volume on ES off that. Back towards its view up straight away. And who's trying to join the party? Nvidia's trying to join the party. Rest of the mag is still very heavy, folks. Very, very heavy. Yes, rejecting view up. What are we doing here? This is a bit like I talked about on Twitter last night. No one wants to buy the market right now, high time frame. No one wants to sell the market, high time frame. So we're just doing these gross washy moves, and they can take a long time to play out. Like we talked about, we did it earlier this year, similar type of thing for a while. Right, back towards the Globex. Please just go and fill the gap, because then we take away all the necessary liquidity and we can think about what's next. Come and fill that gap. Globex again. Come and fill that gap. Nope. Yes, still defending. 6,700 ES. Absolutely. There's the gap fill. Here it comes. All right, back to the opening range low. Can we go gap fill now? There's the gap, almost there, folks. Gap is at 25s or 26s. We're almost there. Look at the reaction once ES broke that 6,700. That was the key. Pretty much there. Missed it by, what, a point or two? Couple points. Still like to see that gap filled. Here we go. It's going to come. It's going to come. As long as ES stays heavy versus 6-7, All right, on this retest, you want to see ES stay heavy versus 6-7. If it stays heavy, we're going to get more downside here for that gap fill. If we fill the gap and then ES reclaims 6-7, I'd be risk off. All right, gap now filled. Previous day low now being checked out. And if we sweep this and recover, I'd be risk off. If we stay heavy under here, like I talked about, and build liquidity, we will move lower. All right, if we stay heavy under here and build liquidity, we will move much, much lower. So the move now is the dip and rip back up here, or a build of liquidity down here to move lower. All right, and we will be testing previous week point of control if we do that. The gap now filled, previous day low checked. Most of your low-hanging fruit here has been taken. They didn't make that easy. They did not make that easy. Low-hanging fruit gone though. So now waiting for a new liquidity build out. Waiting for a new liquidity build out. Oh, nice. Hopefully some of you got that. They made that very tricky. So it's money on the short here, really nice. Money on the short here and here. Attempt of the long here, break even because we can hold above previous day value area low. Reshort down here. So 2 for 3 today and one's break even. So sorry about that. All right, 6-7 recovered here on ES. 6-7's recovered here on ES. Gap filled, low hanging fruit gone. Most of our trades are gone now. Now got to wait. Either they're going to do a big old reversal and rip this thing higher, or they need to build underneath the gap for me. You took the flag. This one here is what I joined into. This one here, under VWAP, under flow zones. Target here, risking this. Exactly what I took. Been a hard market, Tyson, last few weeks, so give yourself some grace. It's been a hard market. Sometimes in the market, you just got to get through it. Trump's already been talking. I'm like, guys, I'm just not going to give that guy any more attention when I'm trading. I waited yesterday. Like I said, he was an hour and something late. He's talking this morning. Already, he's saying committed to spending over 1 trillion on military. Thank you. We're moving forward with the Boeing F-47 fighter jets. Like, I mean, I don't know if anyone watched the interview yesterday. It was a joke. You know, it was a joke. Technicals, we're going to trade the technicals. All right. If there's something really, really big being said, which I thought was going to happen yesterday, I will watch it, but I don't want to give it too much space and time because it gets in the way of trading. All right, so here's the recovery. Look at ES, back through the 6-7s, already trading 6,706. So it dipped down. It actually protected previous day low on ES. We didn't sweep it. Found a bid, straight through VWAP, upside. NVIDIA, upside. All right, found a bid off VWAP. We're still technically making lower lows and lower highs here since the New York session open. All right, it might want to break down. I am not going to play short in here. All right, I will need a breakdown under here for me to play short because I'm now aware that we've done what? We've taken the low hanging fruit. All right. You know how I trade, folks. Once we take low hanging fruit, I lose interest. All right. The easy play today was for gap fill. All right, we've done it. We've done it. If we build liquidity out, can we go lower? Absolutely, we can. But right now, if they W and claim this, all right, this could be a W, reclaim previous day value area low, acceptance or failed acceptance under here, and we go back towards previous day point of control, and it should be, where's previous day value area high? And up here, 900s. Very possible. Very, very, very possible. News coming here, folks, in about 40 seconds. So just be aware of that. Jolt's number coming out in 40 seconds might shake the market. Okay, Tyson, I understand. Well, feel free to DM me if you want to go over any of it. Nice early wins here, folks, this morning. Nice early wins. That's what we want, early wins, and we just sit back and we go, okay, we're going to see what's next. The book's completely cleared out. Look at the book map above me. 3, 2, 1. Here comes the jolts numbers. See if they make a decision here. Here's a retest of value area low and that trend line again. So this is what the second time we've come up and visited this level today. And guess what? Nvidia's breaking out. It's trading back towards previous day high. Apple's getting going. Microsoft's trying to close the gap. Rest of the market's not really joining in yet. Rest of the market is not joining in yet. So still rejecting that same level for now. Nvidia about to take out previous day high, folks. So this is where we failed yesterday, Nvidia, and where we've failed, I don't know, must be 4 or 5 days previously as well. Must be 4 or 5 days previously now. Waiting for liquidity to come back on the book. If you look at the book map above me, it's very, very thin. There's nothing going on here. Waiting for guys like this to start showing back up. So just giving this some time here, because if it wants to trade straight down right now, it can, because it lacks liquidity. Some players starting to come back in here. All right, watching the VIX, it's almost filled its gap as well. All right, so VIX trading downside, trying to fill its gap as well. If it trades under that gap, then we're going to have bullish moves. If it finds a bid there, we're going to continue to chop. Still trading outside of yesterday's value for now. VWAP still holding us down for now. Recovery of this will initiate a potential squeeze. I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need that. So here goes Nvidia. Very close to previous day high here, folks. If it can get through previous day high, it's got a shot of new all-time highs on Nvidia. If you can get to previous day high, it's got a shot of new all-time highs on Nvidia. That might drag the market up if the rest of the market can find a bid, which so far today it hasn't been able to do. We're really waiting for a reclaim of value area low. That's what we'd like to see. Here's the squeeze is now on. There's VWAP. Can we get through value area low? Can we reclaim and go right back to high of New York session? Here's value area low. ES looking to close its gap as well. Just remember, ES gapped above it. So just be careful here as we come into PDC on ES. If they sell PDC, it's very tricky right now. Very, very tricky. Our PDC is all the way up here. ES is almost there. So just be careful. ES through... Nvidia through previous day high, looking like it's going to go for breakout here. It looks really good for breakout. You want to see the rest of the market join in. Like, the rest of the market is completely asleep right now. Literally asleep. Where are you, rest of the market? Wakey, wakey, bulls. Wakey, wakey. VIX close to gap fill as well. ES close to gap fill. They're aligned over in that part. Okay. Can we initiate this squeeze back towards New York session high? Here we go. Have you got any juice? Is there anything in you here? We want a rip candle here with Nvidia, and we want the rest of the market to wake the hell up. Wake up, market. We want to go up. Wake up. Nvidia ripping faces. Beautiful. So, I don't know, fifth time's a charm maybe on Nvidia. It took quite a few days to do this move. ES almost filled its gap here, so be aware. If you are trading upside here, you need to be aware of this gap fill in ES. If it fills its gap and fades, then it's fulfilled its obligation of testing between PDL and PDC. So we're just trading between PDL and PDC right now across the market. Same with us, PDL, PDC. We're trading between these ranges. Love to see more upside here if the market's got it in it. Microsoft trying to close its gap. Might attempt to go to red to green in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Apple's found a good bid. Rest of the market is miles behind. Miles behind. Google, Meta, and Amazon, miles behind. Laggy market. Have a quick look at Etsy. That's pulling back today. I'm going to buy Etsy into 65s. I'm going to have a starter at 65. Let me have a look at Lulu. Lulu's broken out. That looks tempting. Some multi-time frame breakout there. Looks tempting. Let's see if that can pull back a little bit more. I will scoop some up. Okay, doing that dance then. So now we've got a break of structure up here, but it's still internal in this range. Failing up there again. Will Nvidia hold previous day high? That's what's key here for me. The rest of the market, like I said, not joining in here. It's pretty amazing to me that ES traded like a tickle too short of previous day low and a tickle too short of previous day high, now trading back to VWAP. So just internal range, rotation, 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 rotation. Remember, I would like a short under here or a long over here if we can build liquidity. Didn't have a re-go at this because I don't like that we didn't build this. If we do something like this, though, I'm interested. If we fail here, I'm interested short. In here, I'm not really interested. So Nvidia holding previous day high. Apple looks good. SPYs look weak. They're back to view up again. The rest of the market looks weak. Looks weak. This downside pressure in this chop. Most people getting chopped up between 40 and 800 today. Remember that 800's been the over-under level. We've talked about it so many times. It's in the newsletter. It's the over-under level. I don't really want to trade there anymore today. I had one attempt earlier. I'm just going to wait now. It's got to show me strength above it. Otherwise, I know that we're going to keep doing this over-under dance. This is the level. This is the level. It's in your newsletter. 800. Over-under, over-under, over-under. It's done it for numerous days now. If we zoom out, the amount of times we've done a dance at this level is insane. You can see it here. Over, under, over, under, dancing. All right. Big level. Big level. Let's get one of these jobs on here for us. Yeah, it's struggling. It's struggling. That 800, it's struggling. You've got previous day value area low. You've got that old upward trend line there, and you've got VWAP there. And you've got value area high on today's session here. Look at this range is pretty tight, folks, right? 50-point rotation right now. Like I said, low-hanging fruit's been hit. That's why I've lost interest. You can see like I've majorly lost interest. Low-hanging fruit's been hit. Would I like to see upside? Sure, I'd happily see upside in this market. But until it can prove itself, not really convinced. Look at the mag, folks, all right? So I'll give you a readout. The strong one, Tesla, 1.3 or 1.26% up on the session. Apple, 0.27% on the session up. And then you go into the weakness. Tesla, 1% down. Microsoft, 1/3% down. Meta, almost 2% down. Google, almost 1.5% down. Amazon, 1.56% down. All right, so they are not in unison. VIX, very much like ES, almost filled its gap and found a bid. So more choppiness. I was expecting a lot of choppiness today. I think we were very fortunate that we got that move back down to the old weak gap early. This move here paid us early. Now we just wait. Unfortunately, that's how it works. You cannot just keep trading and trading and trading and trading. You've got to take legit setups. At the moment, I don't see anything. Maybe there was a range trade from value area low that down, but what are you aiming for at the moment? Because we've already filled the gap. So that's why I'm not playing short in these areas. I think upside has more potential above value area low for a squeeze higher. And I think shorts have more chance if they can convince me and build out structure underneath previous week close, previous day low. Till that point, I am unconvinced. And I'll tell you right now, ES left previous day low by a tick or two, and it left previous day close by a tick or two, which is kind of disgusting. VIX finding a bid here. Washy, washy, washy. Washy, washy, washy. right into value area low session. So no acceptance below here so far. No acceptance below Globex so far. Make sure you're zooming out. The H1 is a really good guide right now. Look where you're drifting back to. All we're doing is keep back testing RBS levels on the H1. Look at the range that we set Thursday and Friday last week, right? That's what we're back testing right now, folks. It's why I don't want to get short here early. For anyone thinking like, what are you on about? Here, folks, all right, we're back testing these levels, all right? We're back testing this liquidity in here. If we get acceptance under here, yes, we can trade lower. But if you're going to take a short here, you might get your face ripped. It might work for you, but I don't want to take a short into this level. We've had that short. I want to wait now and see if we can build out liquidity, because higher time frame buyers, technically, if they want to step in, let's think about how we've traded here. This would be where they step in, all right? And if we get acceptance over this, this will be the slingshot. If we trade under here, high time frame buyers will get stuck, and then we can complete this, all right? So just understanding the structure and what's in front of you. Do not be too early to jump guns here. No, Raf, I was short twice for winners and long once and break even. Yeah, out the gate. Short, win. Left this alone. Long here, break even. Short here, win. So I call that one trade, second trade. So 2 winners, 1 break even, nothing else since, because we've taken low hanging fruit. Okay, let's see. 700, 6 sevens again on ES, folks. I cannot tell you how big this level is. Massive level. Nvidia still holding, all right? Still looks like it wants the bull flag. Still looks like it wants more at the moment. Apple starting to give back here. Might go green to red soon. The rest of the market is continuing to sell. So Nvidia really just holding this market up, I would say, at the moment. For your first shot, was your stop New York high? I traded the breakdown of 94s, right? So 794s, this candle here. So I would have risked into view up. This candle here was my first entry. I started covering down here and I started adding on these pops into view up. And I started covering a bit here in case it held. And my best cover on the day was 49s actually for that first round. And then I re-added back in on the break of 800s. So I took break evens up there and then I added back in 800s, added more in at 74, 75, 61. And then I covered at 41, 26 and 24 was my best fill for the cover. All right. All right, look at the 6 sevens on ES. Cannot say it enough. 6 sevens on ES. 6 sevens on ES. If you're like, what are you talking about? 6 sevens on ES, 6,700. This is your level. It does not want to let go of this level. All right, you can see it. And same with yesterday. 6 sevens was the level right here. 6 sevens underneath. We bid straight back upside. All right, that is your level. It's probably a massive options level, folks. Probably a huge wall right there. Said, I'm more interested in the short if we break down and build liquidity under here. This is internal range now. This is just, think about the range. This is previous day low. This is previous day high, previous day close. This is a build out of range. Okay, above here, maybe there's a squeeze into here. Below here, maybe there's a fade into here. The other options are failed breakdowns or traps, failed breakouts or traps, right? I'm happy to play each side of this range if there's either a breakdown or a failure. What I'm not going to do is play in this range, all right? Because we've taken the low-hanging fruit. There isn't much to aim for unless It really wants to break down here and test some old levels. And that's going to require liquidity built out underneath, in my opinion, or just a really big break and push, and then we can play. All right, so I don't want to trade in here. It is as simple as that. I do not want to trade in here right now. A good chance higher time frame buyers will want to come in somewhere, so I don't want to get trapped. How many bounces before you think that level won't bounce anymore? I have no idea. It might just keep bouncing. I have no idea. I'm not a market maker. I wish I was a market maker, I would tell you. Until I get filled all my position, is what they would say. Until I've trapped so many shorts and bought enough. Still stuck in the opening range. Yeah, exactly, Troy. I mean, that's another good way to look at it. It's 10:15 and we're still in the opening 15-minute candle. In fact, I would imagine we're in the opening 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're still in the opening 5-minute candle, right? So it's a good sign for, like, leave me alone. Leave me alone for a bit. Let it build out. Be okay sitting still, folks. Be okay sitting still. Like I said, Nvidia wants to move higher. Rest of the market's stuck in a sell. That's the big divergence in the Qs right now. Remember, Nvidia, biggest stock in the world. If that wants to move higher, that can be very, very powerful. It's a big range. This is not a big range. Are you joking? 95 to foot. This is 50 points. If you think that's a big range in NQ, you want to go and check out ATR. That is a usual 2 candle point range. 2 M1 candle point range. It is not a big range. It might look big. This is a tiny range. A big range is like 300 or 400 points, right? 50 points, that can happen in a second. I tell you now, shorts get stuck out down here. We can do a move like this in 1 minute very easily. This is not a big range. No way is that a big range, folks. If this is a big range, why have we recovered it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes? Ask yourself, is that really a big range, or are you zoomed in? Exactly, John. Exactly, John. Tiny range. 50 points is tiny, folks. Your old ATR on NQ is around 28 to 30 points average historically, right? On an M1 candle. So it's under 2 M1 candles. Just because we're coiling and tightening, don't get confused by what you're seeing here to what is possible. All right, to what is possible. Like even this candle, biggest candle today, not very big, but let's have a look. 73s to basically 800. So that is basically 30 points. So 2 candles like that would take out the whole range, wouldn't it? V-shaped recovery in the Dow. Is it actually? Let's have a little look. The YM. I don't like that it's left the external, but it has swept all this. Possible. Definitely possible above here. Yeah, please, folks, don't get zoomed in too much, all right? Make sure it's why I constantly tell you, look at the H1, look at the H1, look at the H1. Even if you look at the M5, let's have a look at the M5 here. All right, there's not a lot going on. All right, structurally, that looks like an inverse head and shoulder to me. Boom, 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 boom. Especially if we bring up this line chart. How do I make this a bit brighter for you? We make this blue and bright, or maybe white. There we go. All right, you can see. For those of you who are newer traders, you can always do that. Put the line chart on, or use a 1 MA. All right, you will see the structure. Here is your structure. All right, this is holding. Break above this and hold. Where do you think we go? Squeeze. Failure up here, back down to this. Keep testing each side, each side, each side, each side. Big range? I think not. I think not. All right. M5 is telling you 51 to 97. 50 points. That's it. Failed above, failed below. That's it. That's your range, folks. Success in trading is doing nothing for the majority of the time. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, Peter. You got to be a sniper in the chart. I talk about it all the time. All right. For those of you young ones who play things like Call of Duty, Battlefield, anything like that, If you're the guy that goes running in a room like a headless chicken with your shitty gun out, spraying everything, you're playing hardcore, you shoot all your mates, you miss all the like good players, and then you get whacked, and then you sit and you throw your controller down like, I don't understand, that guy's cheating. No, he's not cheating, you're just shit, right? It's the same at this. If you're that guy, you're going to get absolutely wrecked. Who do you want to be? You want to be the guy that knows, okay, I've got the other team stuck in the room, so what I'm going to do is throw a grenade in, throw a C4 in, blow most of them up. I'm going to sniper the other ones while they try and come out, right? You want to be that player. You want a KD of like 3 kills a game or whatever per 1 death. You don't want to be the guy with a negative KD running in, shooting your teammates, all right? So if you're spraying and praying right now, which is what I call it, that's where you're going to get hurt. Don't be that person. Be okay sitting out, being like, well, I'm going to let all these noobs get themselves trapped, and when it's ready, I'm going to get my sniper rifle out, all right? I'm going to get my car out. When it's ready, I'm going to get my car out, and I'm going to snipe this. Or I'm going to get my car out, and I'm going to snipe this. Or I'm going to get my car out, and I'm going to snipe this, all right? That's what we wait for. This is newbie town, all right? I don't play in newbie town. I sit out of newbie town. What was the low-hanging fruit? Asia. Previous day low, previous week close. Snipe. We had to go at a snipe here. It didn't work out, so we stopped out break even. We do not hold on to our losers, all right? We do not. Hopefully that makes sense. It's the easiest way I can try and explain it. You're just shit. Yeah, sorry. Well, it's true. I mean, that used to be me. I used to get so stressed playing things like Call of Duty. Everyone's cheating. They're hacking. And it's the same as how I used to trade. It's market manipulation. They're taking my stops. They know everything. No, Alex, you are just an idiot. All right? You're just a moron. You're trading in bad areas. What do you expect? You absolute clumsy oaf. Right? So that's the best way I can explain it, all right? This, if you want to do this as a job, you've got to treat it like a job. You've got to learn it. You've got to understand when to trade, when not to trade. It's the most important thing. Peter is absolutely right. Most of the time I spend sitting on my hands. Sometimes I sit here all day. It's immensely frustrating, especially the days where we go sideways for ages and then we do, 200-point V-shape or 200-point drop with no structure and you miss it. What can you do? You can't get upset about that. That's just how it is. Okay, ES trying to break out here, back towards the top side. We're back towards that value area low from yesterday and that uptrend that we broke out of. Nvidia is trying to take out its highs. Built that bull flag on Nvidia. Protecting VWAP is back towards high of day. It's trying to break out of a 5-minute bull flag on Nvidia. Rest of the market is still down. Tesla 1% down. Microsoft 1/3%. Meta 1.84%. Google 1.32%. Amazon 1.39% down. Rest of the market still heavy, still in rotation. VIX has still got a possibility of a gap fill downside. ES has still got a possibility of a gap fill upside, as have we. We haven't filled this gap here either. All right, this is PDC. All right, so if we want to fill the gap, I would like to see us base above here for this squeeze. Until we can get above there and show me that we're going to get acceptance in previous day value, I'm uninterested in this market, and I will remain uninterested in this market. And for those of you who still don't understand, this right here is telling you your range. We came up to the top of it, and we've almost come straight down to the bottom side of it in one candle. 1 minute candle has almost come right back down. Right, trading at POC right now and VWAP. This is where most volume has been traded today. What topics are the most important in your strategy? Trap traders. And that should be the same in every single strategy, I would say. Unless you're a market maker, and even them. Trapped traders. The easiest trades will always come when one side is caught offside, which is why I like waiting. All right. At the moment, what do we have in here? I would say at the moment, what we have in here is trapped bulls above here and trapped bears below here. All right. This is a liquidity build out. All right. Once one side is clearly offside, all right, clearly offside. Let's say we drift down here we go to reclaim, we fail to reclaim, and we stay heavy, then we will leave all the bulls trapped in here and we can potentially trade downside. If we do a failed break and recover here, then we will have breakout traders, shorts coming in here, trying to add sell pressure. They will get stuck and we will trade upside because we will have trapped bears beneath this zone, right? So trapped traders are what move the market. Unless we're in a major trending market, right, where we've got big positive news, right? Let's say randomly today we come out and say, hey, we're doing a 1 point cut out the blue. Okay, the market's going to go absolute bonkers to the upside, right? And the reason it's going bonkers, we're going to go risk on, everyone's going to buy, and then everyone who's short is going to be racing to cover, right? Just remember how the market works. It is about stops. It's not necessarily hunting for stops, but it is about people's stops. If we're moving, right, if we're moving down under here, buyers stops, right? Remember, if you have your stop in here, stop in here, when that gets triggered, it becomes what? It becomes a market sell, right? And then you get shorts coming in at the same area. We get market sells, so you add sell pressure. As long as we continue away from that, sells take over, right? Until that happens, we don't get it. If we do a market sell here, and we recover here, what do we have? We have a huge amount of sell orders down here, which allowed market makers to pair off these sells with the buys, and they can buy this for the reversal, right? Which is why we wait to see who's trapped and we join afterwards. If you watch my video on like smart money concepts based on Wyckoff, right here you have your contraction. All right, right now we have failure both sides of the range. All right, at some point this range will break and we will either get a push away from it or a fail break away from it. We will either get a push away from it or a fail break away from it, and then we can trade it. Until then, we don't really want to trade this, folks. So all strategies, all right, rely on that. Even when you're in a trending market, when we go into a trend, if we get under here and we trend down, right, which will be a counter trend technically, but if we get under here and we trend down, we can look for things like this, right? So the flow zones will be joining this, and this will be buyers trapped trying to trade the breakout, and we use their stops, which will be there, so we can join short on the recovery in and recovery down and use their pain, right? Same thing every time. I think about this right now. What are we doing? We're just pinning in more and more. Another wedge, right? Higher lows, lower highs. Trap traders are starting to get stuck here. It's going to get tighter and tighter. Someone's going to get hurt. Once someone gets hurt, we will join in. I wish, Mo. I've mentioned it numerous times. I wish they would add it. I can't unsee trap traders now after your lessons. There's such nice trades, and you get, and great way to get into trends, it seems. Yeah, absolutely. It's the best way. It's why I get frustrated on days like yesterday when we leave liquidity really fast and we don't do failed breaks, because it makes it much harder for me to get involved in that trade. Yeah, flow zones are flat. You're right, especially on the ES right now. Especially on ES. We expected this week, right? We're in it as a reminder. Maybe I didn't make this clear enough at the beginning of the day. As a reminder, let's pull this over. Sorry, folks, got to get this. Right. Where are we? What's this? Where are we? Who can have a guess what kind of day this is today? What kind of day is this right now? You guys answer me in chat. You tell me what kind of day this is and what we expect when we have that. Inside day, yeah. Well done, folks. All right, inside day. In inside days, what do we expect? The building of range rotation. All right, go to the very beginning of the video today. What did I say? I'd like to see us fill the weekly gap, and higher time frame buyers might want to come in here. It's possible. If we fail that gap, what are we going to have? An outside day. All right, that's why I'm waiting to see if we fail this gap for an outside day, because at the moment we're inside. We will build liquidity inside, and we can do it for a day or two, and then come news Wednesday, Thursday, what do you think we'll get? A break. all right, we will get a break. This is a building of liquidity day. Lower your expectations. Learn to look at the higher time frames. Okay, higher time frame is an inside day. I'm going to lower my expectations. I'm not expecting huge moves in the market on inside day. Just learn to do that. If you can learn to do that, all right, it means you're not coming to the charts looking for the same thing every day. So you see the inside day, you're like, okay, I remember it's an inside day. Unless we break or fail break outside of the inside day, we're probably going to chop. So I'm going to either play the edges, or I'm going to scalp, or I'm going to leave it alone, right? And if you do that, you're already 90% better than most traders out there. And then when you see the outside day trading, or you see an outside to inside, it's also a lovely play, or an inside to outside, as long as there's some form of expansion or failed expansion, then you can be like, I know what's happening here. I've got trap traders in here. I'm trading this. I'm trading this now. Now I'm going to be risk on and make my money. That is, you will be so much better than the majority of traders out there if you can just understand that basic principle. Okay, look at NVIDIA. Absolutely ripping faces. New highs here, folks. Just want to check, is that a new all-time high? It is. NVIDIA absolutely ripping faces. All right, so you've got major divergence. NVIDIA now 2% up, ripping faces to the upside. Rest of the market saying, hey, I don't want to join in this. I'm not ready to go higher. I don't want to join in this. I'm going to stay still. So you have divergence here. We are retesting that downtrend. We are retesting previous day value area low. NVIDIA is ripping faces to the upside. Squeezy McSqueezy here on NVIDIA. Does the rest of the market want to find a bid at any point today and come and test that the initial balance high? That would be the question I would have for this market at the moment. If it can sustain a bid outside of value area low, it's possible we go and close the gap towards PDC. If it can't sustain this bid outside of previous day value area low, make sure I'm on the right chart, then it's probably going to struggle. Especially that was a big squeeze out from NVIDIA there. Big squeeze out in just shy of 86s here on NVIDIA. Just shy of 86s. ES not moving and NQ not moving with it. So you've just got one stock that is in a hurry to move, and the rest of the market definitely not in a hurry right now. Still inside this range. We're testing current value area high on the day, previous day value area low. If we can bid off this, all right, if we can bid off this, we can come up here, then this will come up to here, all right? We will increase the value on the day, and then we can increase the range on the day. This move here is possible, but it needs to sustain, I can't get that out, sustain bids. It needs to hold above here and go like this, and it's going to need the rest of the market to say, hey, we're willing to join in a bit. At the moment, you're not seeing that. They're only risk on in one stock, and that is NVIDIA. They're not risk on in any other stock right now. Yeah, initial balance set as well. And we're right at value and VWAP. And like, I can't remember who said it, but the flow zones are currently flat. They're trying to move to the other way. They would like to move positive. They're currently flat. Just watching here. NVIDIA still pushing. It's testing those 86s. Testing those 86s. We're still holding value, but you're just not seeing any participation from anyone else in the mag here. No participation in the mag whatsoever. And if NVIDIA does this huge clean out and then goes, hey, we're going to fail, guess what? This thing is going to collapse. Do you say that because you see in your experience later in the day better move? No, it doesn't have to be later in the day. It can be the next day. It doesn't have to be that day. What session do you use for your previous day volume profile? New York. New York. Because that's where the most volume's traded. New York session. If you want to do overnight session as well, you can. I tend to ignore most overnight sessions. I just look for where the volume was traded the previous day. Why? Because cash players that are playing stocks and options, they're playing the New York session. ES stuck again. So ES trading towards sort of its value area low on the session and just stuck at the midpoint. Stuck at that midpoint. $800 Tita Tota. Yeah, same thing. Newsletter level. Twitter level. Put it out on Twitter yesterday. 800. In fact, I'm going to retweet that now. Do me a favor, folks. At least about 100 of you or so have not hit that like button yet. Do me a favor, smash that like button. All right, NVIDIA pulling back off that level now. I tell you what, if NVIDIA starts failing after taking out the highs, the market could get a bit nasty. I would say that. Back to VWAP. So it's still no confirmed bid over here. Hasn't been able to build structure over current value. Back to VWAP. The chop continues. Chop continues. And ES back towards 6.7s. So ES 6.7s, NQ 800s is supposedly the level. I'm using previous day regular trading hours, but I have different levels to you. I don't know what to say. Maybe your setup is different. All right, that is my setup, and I measure it out on an M1. So maybe that's why. There is a video though, Paul. There's a free video on YouTube. Maybe check that video out. I'll go through everything and how I do it. Could be the data slightly different, but yeah, it might be down to the amount of rows you use and the time frame that you look at it on. But yeah, all my settings are in that video. If you go to YouTube, go there. I have a section on trading volume where I go over that and TPO and stuff like that. So you can check that out. Go over everything in there. All right, ES looks weak here. Back to the 6.7s again. 6.7s again. Can we make our mind up here, market? Gunflex. Oh, did I? Not on purpose. Probably just stretching. Probably just stretching. In this range, make your mind up. In this range, Mr. Market. Let's sing a song to the market. Everyone, make this market move. Come on, Mr. Market. So boring. It is so boring. Do my magic to remove. What? Go to the toilet. Oh, sitting still is hard. It's boring and hard, but it's what we have to do. Still got this stuck in this right now. This kind of thing here. Yeah, 6.7s. IB low. Is it going to come for previous day low now? NVIDIA pulling back a little bit. Can still find a bid here if it wants. I want to see good follow through if we're actually going to sell this, and that follow through is going to need to be underneath the previous week close for me to be super interested. I would be super interested if we can do that. At the moment, it's just an internal sweep of that 61 level. ES much weaker, much weaker. Sweeping previous day low or tapping previous day low now. Like we said earlier, it left previous day low by, I don't know, a tick or two. Let's see, what did we trade at earlier? 97s and low was 96.25. So it left previous day low by 3 ticks. It's now come and swept that level. Do we now see follow through? Is NVIDIA going to get underneath its initial balance low? Trading back to Globex. If we get very weak underneath previous week close, I will be interested in a short. If we trap under there, I will be interested in a long back up. If we just keep staying in this range, I will not be interested. ES being the nicer trader. Again, surprise, surprise. Trump's been speaking since 9 a.m. Yeah. Nice, but yeah, he's been talking non-stop. I mean, the amount of Adderall that guy must be on is insane. They said it couldn't be done. It's been done. I did it. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. They said I'm the best. They wanted to call me. They called me yesterday. I said, I'm going to announce it next week. They called me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I said, Donald, you're just the best. I couldn't believe the waffle. The waffle I tuned in for yesterday is why I'm not listening today. All right, breaking down here, ES underneath previous day low. We're coming into that 5-day moving average. I'll turn my aircon off. Be right back. That's really pumping. Yeah, they all like me. We're going to call it Peace in the Middle East. Oh, that's hilarious. He's been watching too much Patrick Wyland. Isn't that how he signs off every day? Peace in the Middle East. All right. ES back. God, I can't focus. ES back to that key level. It's traded underneath its previous day low now. It's tapping back into its IBL. All right. As long as ES rejects 700 now, we could have more downside. If it reclaims 700, then we probably don't have any more downside. And NQ obviously is not participating in any of this today. All right. We are still inside the range. To what level would I look to short this market? Well, if we break down clean, all right, if we break down clean under here, there's a little block here, which I need to be careful of. But if we break 700, I'll be watching previous week point of control. And under that, I'd say we have a ton of liquidity at 560, 520, 450, 423s. All right. And a breakdown under that would confirm a lower high, lower low on a daily. And, well, then the market might change. But until then, we wait. All right. Nvidia's still holding initial balance. Rest of the market. Microsoft's trying to go red to green here, interestingly. It's trying to go red to green. It's trying to recover. I have no idea what we want to do here, folks, to be quite honest with you. It doesn't look very clean to me. H1's tapped down a couple times, still protecting. What's this low? Still protecting lows. Microsoft very close to going red to green. Nvidia still holding above initial balance. Apple 0.25% up. Rest of the market's red. Yes, banging on the door of that 6.7. 6.7's kind of like our 800 level. All right, 6.7's kind of like our 800 level. It's stuck between 6.7 and IBL and previous day low right now. Once again, I'm wrong about PW. What am I wrong about? I'm sure that's how he signs off. Definitely how he used to sign off. I like Pat. Causes good drama. Not something I'd want to be involved in. Okay, back to VWAP. Do they get a recovery here? Can Microsoft go red to green? Can ES reclaim 6.7s? If not, more downside. Tell me that. All right. Hope you have a good day. All right, VWAPs. Back to the VWAP. ES back to 6.7s. Make your mind up, Mr. Market. What do you want to do? We want to trap everyone. All right, back to value area high on the session. This is getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. All right, 6-7s reclaimed here on the ES. 6-7s reclaimed. Can they get up to VWAP on the ES? Does it sustain a bid here on the ES? Does NQ go rippy rippy? Whippy whippy? Can it get through previous day value area low? Can we get through current value area high on the session, or on the day, I should say? And then can it sustain a bid to that New York open and opening range? All right, that's kind of what we're looking at. Microsoft now red to green. The rest of the market is still, I'm talking like lagging way behind, like 1 to 1.5% behind the rest of the market. Here is the value area low. Here is VWAP on ES. The chop and slop continues, folks. Inside day fun for scalping. Yeah, if you're playing edges, if you like that, like I always talk about, I hate range trading on inside days playing edges. Oh, thank you. Huh? Yeah, perfect. I've still got more. All right. ES back to VWAP. We're back to the top side of the range here. Nvidia's going to have one more attempt by the looks of it to try and break out. Can any of the market close its gap? Can like Amazon, Google, Meta, or Tesla find a bid? It's kind of the question right now. Let me just zoom down here. Neo looks really good for those in the swing room. It's starting to sustain bids above 7. Looks very, very good right now. All right. What are we doing here, market? Make your mind up. Get through value and base and squeeze for us, or just break all the way down to the other side. Stop doing this. This is boring. This is boring. New high day, Nvidia. Yeah, stuck at its VWAP. Come on, just go, just go, just go, just go. Let's have some fun here. Yeah, that's a spike. We need a base. We need a push in a base, not a spike. Equal highs now at 12s. That's where a lot of stops will be. They'll be at 12s. I don't like playing this flag here. Way too risky for me up here. I want to see a base above. It is trying. In fairness, this is attempting to base above and go. So this is your TP. There we go. All right. Going to force me to get in here. There. All right, there's the squeeze. This is why we wait. Let's fucking go. There's IB high. Oh, baby. Fuck yeah. Let's go, baby. Oh. Forced me to join in there once it broke. All right. TP here. Guess who got trapped? Let's go. I almost didn't take that. I was like, oh, it's basing. I don't really want to do it. And then I was like, oh, I'm joining. We're going. That was the liquidity. Once it took this stop, all these stops got wrecked. Straight up to PDC. Risk off there at PDC because that is the low-hanging fruit. And thank you very much, Mr. Market. What a move. So quick. Once we get out of range. What did I talk about? Once we get out of range, the volume will step in. Look at this volume down here. Why? Because all the stops here we talked about. This is the short stops. These are the long stops. Once we run the stops, we get power moves. Now those shorts got absolutely wrecked. While we don't join in here and we wait to trade outside of it. If we can hold this, we will continue going now. All right, if we base above this, we will continue going. If we fade back inside this, this will be a failed breakout. We should trade to the other side of the range at that point. But right now, we are bullish. Had to be quick on the trigger there, folks. But that's how trading is. I was watching this. I was like, it's not really basing above, but it did a one inside bar there, well, pretty much. This little micro flag. I didn't trade this. I actually joined a bit late. We did this, and I was like watching this. So I put a buy limit here, and we went, or buy stop limit, and we went. Gave me a nice big profit, nice and quickly. What next? What next? You're looking for a retest of where we just broke out from. All right, think about how thin this is here. All right, so if we're going to have continuation, it will need to hold this. All right, but just be aware. What was this? This is gap fill. So we closed previous week close, or the new week opening gap, however you want to talk about it, and PDC. All right, so we've gone gap fill to gap fill. This is why this was low hanging fruit. This is low hanging fruit. So I was partial. Opening range, IB, top. That's it. Money made. This is also the top side of the downtrend. So if I take you into another chart now, we're waiting for a breakout here. Let's go higher time frame. Think about this right here, this 5 minute. You see this white dotted line. This is downtrend. All right. We have liquidity here to aim for. If it holds pullbacks and gets above this, we will go slingshot, breaking above 70s. Right, so it's got liquidity to aim for into 870s. Above that, we're looking for previous day value area high. Above that, we're looking for the old highs. Bulls definitely started to take control here. All right, all the time we're holding above previous day value area low, like we talked about, which we are currently doing. All right, this dip's holding. We have closed the gap. Low hanging fruit's gone. Microsoft now comfortably green, and we want to see the others start to close the gap here. Right, what do I mean by that? If you look at Amazon, Google, Meta, and Tesla, we want to see them come back towards PDC. I don't know if any of you got that with me. It was very quick, but we have talked about the same levels all day. We have talked about the hold or break above previous day value area low all day long. I've talked about this level. I've talked about how and when traders are trapped. So maybe you got to see that in real time. Even if you didn't take it, you got to see it in real time. All right. Let me have a look here. Watching this H1, all right, because we've just taken the old H1 high. Next high to take on the H1 will be 45s, which will be near enough previous week value area high. If we can get above 45s, then we're looking for 55s, and then we're looking for 70s. Did any of you manage to get that with me? Managed to get some of it? I entered late, actually. I was a bit sloppy there. Entered on the 11s once I saw this volume coming in. So I only already got 11s to 38s, but it's all I needed. It happened so fast. JD got it. Nice. Yeah, the guys in the room probably got it. You know how to trade these. Richard got it. Nice. This is why I hate range rotations, right? Because those of you who were scalping this to this to this to this, if you had your stop there, you didn't get filled to up there. You got absolutely run over. And that's why I hate range rotations. Because when they break, you are going to get absolutely wrecked. Remember, the pro trend is higher. The daily wants to move higher. Troy got it. Too quick, Harris. Yeah, I understand. It can take a lot of experience to get that. You were in at 800, Marek. Yeah, very nice. I mean, that's kind of the level, isn't it? 800 over under, like we talked about. I mean, look at ES. Look at ES today and what it's done. Same as the last few days. Every dip under 6.7s has been absorbed. They've trapped sellers and they've gone upside. That's every single dip under 6.7s. All right, so we're now holding New York Open here. We're stuck at the initial balance high. We can have a rotation day because we're not sustaining bids outside initial balance high. This is half of me talking to myself. But if we can sustain bids outside of initial balance high, we can keep going. It looks to me like Nvidia just wants to gun for 190. That next whole number is very bullish here on Nvidia. All-time high breakout, squeezing higher. Looks very, very strong. Some of that market trying to close the gap a little bit. Let's just see. I want to see some sort of sweep under here and a reclaim. So the next bullish move for me would be under here, all right, and then a reclaim. That'd be ideal. This is what you're looking at, a flag, but I'd like to come under here, but it might not want to do it, but that's what I would like. Underneath this, run these late buys out and then reclaim, and then we can go. That would be ideal. Any failure back in here, I'm not touching. All right, if it cannot hold this level, I'm not touching it. Well, Malabi got it. Nice work, folks. Those who got it. I know you had to be quick. No, you had to be quick. Let's get these likes up again, team. 120. We need 120 likes. We'll do another Apex giveaway today. Feeling kind. We'll do another Apex giveaway. A reminder, it is your last day to get 80% off Apex. All right, and $85 activation fee. Your last day to do it. Still basing and holding. ES pulled back to view up. ES has not filled its gap yet. All right, folks. ES has not filled its upside gap yet. Worth being aware of. We are attempting again to break out here. So that flag just held. We didn't sweep, unfortunately, but we look good for more upside. So rejoining this a little bit here into this next anchor. Fantastic. Can we squeeze through this? Previous week value area high here. Taking some partials here now. Can we keep going here to the top side of Globex? Previous week open here. Can we keep going? Can we keep going? Can we keep going? Taking more here. Looking for a trade now into 57s if we can get there. That's Globex. Getting very close. These are the levels I gave you earlier, the H1 levels. Taking a little more partials here because we're stalling. I want to see if SPY and ES can continue. There's the pullback to previous day point of control. Okay, out here, I will look to reload if it offers it. Really nice. Didn't quite give me what I wanted. I would have preferred this candle here to drift in here, but we join on that squeeze. All right, this is Globex now, and then this is supply above. We've pretty much taken out everything we want to trade to now. These are your next levels. I'm pretty happy with this day now. That's good money. Good money. So at the moment, I'm working on my take profit to get comfortably above the buffer for daily payouts. And I've forgotten to trade my FTP account. I need to be trading that. Might have missed the opportunity today now. Maybe I'll wait for tomorrow. That's stupid of me because I could have taken $1,000 tonight in payout. Why did I forget that? It's because I don't have the connection set up as auto. Let's change that. So tomorrow it automatically comes on. Configure, funding text. Where is this connection on startup? Let's change that. There we go. Peter, yeah, nice. Some of you joining in on that. Yeah, I'm just scalping this on the way upside because I know bullish momentum. We remember the daily. We went over this at the very beginning of the day. The daily is bullish. The weekly is bullish. The monthly is bullish. The hourly is not yet bullish. All right, it's possible that we set a lower high, lower low on the hourly, but we're not doing that yet. So this is why there's a bit of fighting going on at these 6-7s, at these sort of 800s. All right, because if we hold this, like I talked about, go back to the very start of this video, 9:15 to 9:30 open. I talk about this potentially being a trap level to move higher, and we trade short underneath it. So there's probably a fade to here, and then from this point, it will either make a decision here or a decision here. Go back to the very start of this video. We talk about this exact move. But the low-hanging fruits, we've closed both sides of the gaps now, and we're into previous week value area high. So basically what this is saying is last week, all right, last week, where is previous week value area? Like last week, this was the value level. All right, this is basically your distribution. It wasn't a D shape, but to give you an example, if we get, that's wrong. Alex, you're lying. It was here. It's here, all right? So if we get under here, we can trade to point of control and previous week value area low. We're now trading to previous week value area high. If we can get above this, it means we're going to get acceptance above weekly value, which means there's potential for rotation to previous day and previous day high. This is very bullish how we're acting right now. Your range is still small on the day, by the way, folks. Your initial balance was at only 108 points range. I'd say we did very, very, very well today, given what we're given. Short, 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 long break even, leave alone, long, long. Honestly, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this. That is the best part of the day. Anyone that traded this probably blew up all their accounts. I couldn't have stressed longer to you guys. Leave that stuff alone. Let everyone else get trapped. That is, what do we call it? headless chicken playing Call of Duty, going in and shooting. We talked about the sniper entries here. There's your sniper. There's your sniper, right? Hopefully that's made sense to you all, especially if you're new joining here. That's how I like to trade. Trade people's pain, all right? Trade people's pain. Who was in pain? Think about this range, right? Who was stuck in here once we broke this? All the shorts, all the bears in here. This is why this move's massive, all right? Because they get forced to cover, all right? And they're getting forced to cover, and they're going to continue to get forced to cover, especially the moron, all right? The moron trade who's short here. He doesn't cover. He adds more. He adds more. He adds more. He will blow up. We will keep going up until the volume has got to a point where we have a blow-off volume, all right? Which is what we had at the lows yesterday, and I can go over that in a minute as well. Here we go. So Globex now taken. That's pretty much your last low-hanging fruit. Like I said, if we can sustain bids outside of previous week value here, all right, then we can come and test here. The last two places to aim for now are previous day value area high. We are tapping into supply here, folks. There is an H1 level at 70s. All right, it's an H1 level at 70s. Through that, there's an imbalance all the way up to 917, all right? We have previous day value area high in that level. All right, so if we break through 870, I would not be surprised either a failure just above it and a trade inside, or a 30-point squeeze to 24,900 up here. All right, that's what I'd be looking for at this point. All right, shorts are now caught in this. Look at the difference with the flow zones. Sideways, 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 buy, separation, upside. Do not fight the upside. If you're short in this, you're going to get hurt. All right. We will now trade. There is a liquidity stop right here. If we trade through this, we are going to trade here. Maybe we fail there. I don't know. If not, we trade into the underside of, when was that? Monday last week? Is it Monday this week? I'm getting so confused. Monday this week. All right. So we're upside only now, folks. We are upside only now. The moron trader, yeah, who just puts more on. He keeps putting more on to be a moron. Don't be that guy. Do not be that guy. Easiest way to lose. See liquidity on that book now, 24,900, which is previous day value area high. I think we will trade up there. It just depends how we get up there. It might be that we need to trap first. It might be that they've got so many shorts caught that we just keep grinding and squeezing. We've definitely had the easy money, though. I would not be joining long up here now at this point. We are extended, so I need to see it build out some more form of liquidity. John W. hit my daily goal. Thanks, Alex. Hey, nice work, my friend. Nice work, my friend. Yeah, let me know who's nice and green on the day. Who's fat green on the day? You might not have the biggest green day because the range is tighter, but I think we have definitely got the best moves in here. We have definitely got the best moves in here. Take care, Peter. Nice early day for you. I love it. Nice work, mate. That's the way to do it, Paul. 400 trading micros. Nice work. Harish, I'm up 200. Super happy. Nice, Harish. Nihal, green. John Dennis, green. Toby, green. Troy, me. Great trades today. Yeah, it's been an easier day to read today. PD, yep. 3 evals at 3K. Nice work. Myron, green and done. Nice work. Brandon, green for the first time in a bit. Nice, Brandon. Well, don't give it back, eh? Just like build that confidence back up. Chief, fat green. Thank you. That's what I like to hear. Contorted, another phone call and I missed that whole move. What a rough day. Sorry to hear that, mate. It happens. Just wait for the next trade. Still in long since previous day value area low. Nice, Peter. Yeah, I mean, you might keep squeezing here. What I'd say is we're a little bit extended and we haven't washed anyone. So all the guys, remember, we got long here. I added in here. And you're fully out here. I missed this part of the trade, unfortunately. I was too busy talking. It would not surprise me to see them come and take this before having another attempt higher. It wouldn't surprise me. So I'll just say manage your risk. Could easily come down here and then do one of these. If not, we just keep moving in this very strong uptrend where shorts just keep trying. You know, these shallow pullbacks, these are days where shorts get really peed off, right? Because they get, let me get something like this. They get caught in this, right? And there's not much relief for them, all right? So if they were ill-disciplined and they were short in this range and they added here and they've added here and they've added here and we just keep doing this until we hit this target. Remember, there will be a ton of stops. If we take 870, we might get here in a flash, all right? And then they will all blow out and then we will watch the volume. I wanted to go over that with you guys. What does blow off volume look like? I will show you. Yesterday's a prime example. When we traded yesterday's low, ignore this because this is market on close, but this bar here into the higher time frame algo underneath previous day value, this bar here had the biggest volume on the day. Ignore this. This is market on close. That's like your open. But look at the rest of the volume, right? Biggest volume, including the open. It is the biggest volume. That is blow off volume, all right? That's what you're looking for the upside now. When would this market finish? Only if it gets some blow off volume, all right? Exhaustive volume where all the shorts stop out of the market and buyers say, hey, we're selling into them stopping out, right? So think about if shorts keep adding, all right, let's say, and we do a huge candle rip through here. Let's imagine there's a huge rip through here and all the shorts, remember they cover, they get forced to buy market, buy market, buy market, buy market, buy market, buy market. Then anyone who is smart and bought down here and bought down here is selling into that because you need to pair off. So you need all of those shorts buying back to sell your position into. All right, like I said, this might want to pull back and trap now. Would not surprise me to see it do that before it takes out 870s. All right, hopefully that makes sense to you all. Understanding the pair off. You need a pair off for every market. If you're a buyer, you need a seller. If you're a seller, you need a buyer. If you're a big buyer, you're going to need a lot of sellers. Best way to do that is to trap them. And if you're a big buyer looking to sell a lot, which is what we'll probably have soon, then you need all those shorts trapped to buy back in a hurry. How do you get that box on your top right that tells you the different time frames if you're bullish or bearish? This is my flow zone indicator, my friend. Right, what you're looking at. This is custom right here. Right, this is what I built, my algorithmic system from back testing when I know when to buy and sell, what I'm looking at. If you do the course, you get a version in the course or you can upgrade to it. All right, everything's available at flowzonetrader.com. You can check it all out there. I'd say you're best off, if you're new with me, Greg, best off doing the course and then putting the indicator on your charts. And if you want to upgrade to the pro version, just you can do it at the beginning. You can add it as an upgrade. FCT right now will get you 10% off. Info risk. I had a question earlier. I think it got lost in the mix. On your short after the open, you covered at what you called the Asia level. How do you define the Asia level? Asia, it's the time frame that Asia trades in, right? So for me, Asia is from 8 o'clock till midnight. 8 o'clock to midnight. That's what I define as Asia. 2 o'clock to 5 a.m. is what I define as London. We're holding above this trend now. Remember this trend we talked about? We are starting to hold above. Zoom out. We are holding above this. If we sustain bids above this, this is available to here. That is the stop hunt. This is where we're thin. This stop hunt might come to here. It might just pop and fail. But I would be focused on longs up to here now if you can. That's your trade for the day. Nvidia still basing at highs, looking very, very strong. Looking very strong. I think Nvidia will want 190, like I talked about. It likes those whole numbers, so it's taken forever to break out of basically 185. 5 points up will be 190. Rest of the market, not really closing the gap too much. Tesla 0.81% down, Meta 1.19% down, Google 1.25% down, Amazon 1.26% down. In fact, we can have a look at these if you want. See the relationship of where they're hanging out. Let's have a look. So Apple in a range today, still not getting through those 160s was what we're looking for in Apple. Amazon trying to find a base here. So you can see Amazon big sell early morning. And here is the trap. This is the same thing we look for every day. There's the change of character. There's the quasi. There's the uptrend. All right, can it base here? If it can base here, it's going to look for these stops here. If it can't base here, it can rotate all the way down now on Amazon. Goog. Let's have a look on Goog. Same kind of thing. Meta. That's looking better. That's just stop hunted these though. So it's done the move everyone else wants to do. Can we get that move on Meta? Microsoft, power move. Beautiful. Really good. Sell off on the morning, reclaim, off to the races. Previous day high, previous week high up here. Big level up here for Microsoft. Nvidia, huge breakout. Right? Remember, this was your breakout point, 85. Breakout, pullback, continuation, same thing. I reckon it will want 190. I reckon it will want 190 if it can keep going. Doesn't have to do it today. Tesla, starting to break out from this downtrend. Can it base above VWAP for return to clear out PDC? And as a whole, probably in a range that's equally weighted. So the move by Nvidia pulling this up. So you'd want to see as a whole, this is the mag equally weighted. You'd want to see them base above here for that rotation higher. What's Neo looking like? Looking good. Looking really good. That's Etsy. Getting interested in this now on Etsy. $64s. 63, 64. All right, getting interested. Lulu. Starting to find that bid I thought we might get. Yeah. Lulu's looking interesting. PayPal. Down a couple bucks there. We'll see. I think still looks good long term for that move into earnings. Remember, earnings season coming now soon. All right. Sorry, team. Had to have a quick look at those. All right. So still not swept this. Back into initial balance. We're holding IB. Technically, we're in a trend day higher. We've come right up into, oh, let's get these back, right up into supply. There we go. So I would say the levels I'd be watching for the remainder of the day. You've got 45 minutes left. You've got low vol here. All right. You'd want this to be protected by bulls. Very low vol in this move through. All right. So you'd want this to be protected by bulls. All the time we're holding initial balance high, technically we are in a trend higher. All the time we're holding this, technically we are in a trend higher. And this will be the target. It would be 870s and then 900s. That's the target. I would love to see break down under here, tap into low vol, reclaim and go. That would give me the best risk reward. If we break down under here and we fail, then maybe there's a rotation all the way back down. I probably won't touch that today. I'll probably wait for that move to set up for another day. I'll be focused on longs today if possible. I had another one earlier on another chart. I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking about this one. Sorry. This one? This is free. This is free. There's a video on my website. This is the Trend Friend Pro. This is free for free for TradingView. You've just got to sign up for it, Greg. This is free for TradingView, and it's going to be 150 bucks for NinjaTrader. If you're a member, it's 50 bucks. Already posted it. All right. So at the moment, it's just for members, but it's free for TradingView for you. You can find the video. Let me see if I can find it for you. It would tell you how to sign up. I'm going to post it in chat for you now. All right, that's the video. How to sign up for free is on there. All right, folks, we need another 20 more likes here to do a giveaway. So we had a slight divergence. ES filled its gap upside, selling off that back to view up. SPY didn't actually fill its gap, selling off back to view up. So we're in a rotational day, especially on the spiders. If we go to the ES, all right, and you'll see the initial balance, you have two failed auctions. Failed underneath, initial balance, reclaim 6/7s, squeeze upside. Close the gap, back to view up. So IB low, view up, IB high, view up. If they base here, IB high. If they fail here, IB low. I'm risk off right now. We've had the easy money for me. I'm really surprised they gave up both sides of those trades. Very happy that they did, don't get me wrong, but I'm somewhat surprised. We can see we're very thin in here. You would expect buyers will need to defend this area in here. If they do not defend this area, they're probably going to be in trouble. Apple very close to going green to red here. Nvidia pulling back as well. So this is the move I was talking about. All right, buyers will want to protect this. All right, now we've swept all this out. Boom, 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 boom. If buyers protect somewhere in here and reclaim, there's probably a new long. If we fell under here, this will be a rotation back down. That's what I'd be watching anyway. This thin level here that we've just literally traded into. I gave you that, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes ago while we were up here. Are we really coming for previous day value area low? I mean, it's very possible. We broke out from there. It's like you've got to take partials into those key levels. I cannot say it enough. We're in a rotational market. You know, do not expect too much for the day. Lower your expectations on inside day. Look at what I said to my team here, beginning of the day. Oh, how can I do that? How can I do that? Nope. Nope. Oh my God, what's happened here? Just ruined it, Alex. Lower expectations. What the hell has happened there? Okay, I know what's happened there. That's my other monitor. It's just come over. Get out of here. There we go. God, that was horrible looking. Right, here. Lower expectations. All right, lower expectations. If we fail, you need to watch for the gap fill. All right, under Friday close, maybe weakness. Careful thinking short unless clear failure under there. All right, this is everything that we played today. All right. If you've had a long here in this session from 800 all the way up to Globex high, all right, it offered you 60 points and you haven't taken profit, haven't taken any profit. You need to ask yourself why. Why have you not taken profit? Probably because you have greed, right? Lower expectations. We're still an inside bar, comfortably an inside bar. Yeah, exactly. Info risk. Exactly. I expected chop today. It's exactly what I expected based on where we were opening. Okay, so not protecting this. So probably going to rotate back down towards previous day value area low and the VWAPs right now. ES is very weak right now. Very, very weak. Nvidia is pulling back off that huge push it's had today. Apple's very close to going red to green. Rest of the market, like we said, we just went over all of the mag. We looked at their charts. And they're still red on the day. And here you go. Here is your VWAP. So if they start sliding here, all right, if they have trapped bulls over this level now, who have not taken partials into this move, and they slide in here, this is more chop. And if we rotate under this, we get stuck under here. I'd think about short under here. But right now, we're in a rotational market. IB high, IB low, rotation, failed auction, back to midpoint, view up. Do they bid off here back to IB high, or do they let this go and we slide all the way back down to IB low? They will have to make a decision soon. I'm going to delete this now as well because we've traded through it. All right, I'll be watching ES here. If ES pushes up to view up and fails, I'll be very careful on NQ. It feels kind of heavy here. This is feeling very heavy here, but we're just into the chop. If you're going to action a trade here, you are actioning a trade where we chopped earlier. Woof, 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 woof. Right? ES, guess what? 6/7s. 6/7s ES. Oh, this feels dangerous. This feels somewhat dangerous here, Mr. Market. You feel like you're going to hurt people. 6/7s. Still bidding 6/7s. And this is where we broke out from earlier. And if they bid up here, there's potential for that inverse head and shoulders we talked about. And if they fail here, there's still potential for rotation. While they build this out, I might just use time to go to the bathroom, and I'll be back shortly. All right. What have we got going on here? Still protecting 6/7s. So watching ES back into view up. We're just at that old range again. This is a deep wash, trapping all those bulls. All right, who came in above here. We talked about this. This is the deep wash. If they want to continue this, they'll fail from view up back down to IB low. If they reprice this, they squeezes on. We're in a balanced range right now. All right. Want to be careful. You want to be careful. This is where we avoided this area earlier. Most of the market is continuing a sell here, or is still red on the day, I should say. Almost there, folks. Almost there to the 120s. Almost there to the 120s. 120 likes, and we're doing Apex giveaway here, folks. Neck is tight. This is my kind of leave alone zone. I won't mind if this trades downside. I don't mind taking shorts if we're really going to let go, but I don't really want to enter here. Back inside of previous day, or current day levels, I should say. Technically, if we reject previous day value area low, if we failed above that, we can rotate lower. I just don't fully trust it yet, given what we're seeing in the market. Maybe if VIX breaks above 1650, I'll be a bit more enthused. It's starting to build out a W here on the VIX. So again, sitting still, waiting to be a sniper. We know the levels. We've made really good money today. We're 3 out of 4 in that third trade. We were short. I don't get this right. We were short, failed long. No, we were short, break even long, short win again, long, long. So should have made good money. Manage your risk. Telling you, 6/7s ES, big, 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 big level, big level, big level. 6/7s. Back towards IB low on the ES. Relative weakness on the ES. It's already, all right. ES is already hovering around here, folks. All right, but it's at those 6/7s. It's a huge level right now. I'd say under there we see more weakness. But it's got to sort of build structure under it. Not just keep tapping into it and then getting absorbed. That is not bearish structure. Right on it. It's like just hovering, or I say on it, like a point above, a point below. It's a big, big level. Massive level. Do they just let this go? It's real close to letting go here on ES. I would struggle to trust this right now. The way it's operating. Either a massive flush or a big trap and squeeze is coming. I want to play the follow through afterwards. We're just taking that internal level. Yep, we have. This is a bit like yesterday. Here we go. Not much of a bounce to play after it fades. It's like straight down, a little bit of hesitation here. And here they're letting it go. Okay, so the next play we're looking for, if we're going to look for something else, again, it is ideally underneath this. Said someone's going to get hurt. It's either a trap and squeeze or a big, big flush. Well, there's the flush. Look at ES. New low of day, back to 5-day moving average. Just absolutely wrecked all those 6/7 players. So you need to see a pull up here and a back test. Again, this is very similar to yesterday. Why is NQ being harder to trade? It's just Nvidia. Nvidia's having a really bullish day. Remember, Nvidia's broken out new all-time highs. Rest of the market is in a sell. That is the divergence here. And if you're like, it's only one stock, it's only one stock. It is the biggest stock in the world with the heaviest weight on the NQ. All right. It wouldn't matter if it was a small stock doing this. No one would care, but it's the biggest stock in the world holding the market up right now. So we've just traded right back down to Globex, into point of control on the session. We're not seeing follow through under here. ES has just washed the low of day. We've not washed the low of day. So you have divergence there. And you're going to watch ES now for a back test of 6/7s. What did I say for VIX? Maybe a breakout of 1650. We just swiped it and traded back inside. You would expect somewhat more downside pressure, but it needs to pop and fail. It needs to pop and fail and then build out liquidity underneath 720s for a bigger fade. If it can't do that, then we're still going to trade inside. You're still inside the opening 5-minute range, folks. Opening 5-minute range. Lots of people leaving, probably because they've made all their money, I would assume. All right. Guess where ES is? Guess where ES is? You had a buy order at 6694. That's a good buy order. Playing the edges. Guess where ES is? It's coming to backtest. Do I think we can push above fair value gap? Which fair value gap? I'm not sure what you're looking at. What time frame are you on? What are you looking at? I don't know what you're looking at. At the moment, it's unless it reclaims 6/7s, I don't think anything's possible. 5 min fair value gap. Have a look. So it's basically VWAP. You're looking for a trade through 703.50s to 705s. I mean, yeah, it's definitely possible, but I wouldn't say it's probable. Look what ES is doing in this session. Let me do it in here for you. It's what you've got to be aware of. All right, this is how we trap traders. This session, go to a 5 minute. What do you see here? Yeah. Trap buyers, trap sellers, trap buyers, trap sellers, trap buyers, trap sellers. Under here, sell. Okay, back to VWAP. So we had divergence here because ES has already come underneath all of this and it's now trading back inside. It's trading right at that 6/7s. We're going to trade back to VWAP here, back to previous day value area low, and we're going to retest these same levels. This is the chop you saw earlier. If we build out more liquidity here and we fail, think about how many participants will then be trapped under here. All right, this is your neckline now. All right, it's your shoulder line, this is your neckline. If we reclaim this, this is a very deep drive to do this. It's everything to play for. If you're like, oh, he's giving 2 options, because we're an inside day. All right, we're an inside day. We're inside initial balance. We're inside value. We have divergence. This is how these days play out. You have to be aware of both options. It's never one side on the table. It's and if or setups. Back to these 800s, we go on NQ, all right? The over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. We talked about it in the newsletter. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it on Twitter. It's doing the same thing today. Lower your expectations. Lower your expectations. 30 minutes left, folks. Well, we're almost there. We need 9 more likes. We're not that far away. Maybe go and share the stream with everyone. Let's see if I can post it up and we get a giveaway going. All right. Do they break this down? Do they recover? Let's have a look at the 5. A little bit sloppy. I'll draw this out for you today. This is what we've done. There's the breakout. There's the extension. There's failure back into range. If we fail this range, this becomes available. If we reclaim this range, a new high becomes available. Can I explain why I prefer partials over moving stop loss? Well, I do both, but the reason I take partials is because I play 2 key levels. All right, so if we think about this morning, right, this and this were a key level. I don't want to move let's say I move my stop to here above this swing high, I give all that back, whereas I know it might turn around there. I want to take profit into a probable level where it's going to turn around. Same here. If we played long here, all right, I want to take some profit into PDC. I want to take some profit into Asia. If I left my stop here or here, I'm giving back so much profit. All right, so much. I way prefer taking partials and moving my stop. I want to do both. Okay, this is getting spicy and dicey here. We just failed that 800 test. ES is pulling back into 6.7s. It is going to need to make a decision soon. VIX is still not broken out above that 1650 and sustained a bid. There is more sell pressure coming here by the looks of it. And this might build out liquidity on this right shoulder now. ES back to IB low. What's the rest of the market doing? Fucking no man's land. No man's land. Rotational market. Yeah, exactly, Idris. Exactly, buddy. You know the score. Rotational market because we need to build out liquidity. Took 2R on the 6.7. Nice work. Out and out. Lovely work, mate. Nice work. Any news on this government shutdown yet? It's one thing I haven't checked this morning. My neck is sore, man. My old neck problem's starting to rear their ugly heads again recently. All right, that was a failure on the retest of 6.7 there for ES. If it breaks down here, we'll be looking for a new low of day on ES. Remember, you got that 5-day moving average and a big block down there that they keep bidding up off at the moment. Nvidia's still holding very, very well. Rest of the market, Apple's nearly gone green to red now. Microsoft went red to green, is trying to hold a bid above PDC. Rest of the market is on average around 1.5 or 1.55% down. Between Tesla, Meta, Google, and Amazon, they're all about the same. All about the same right now. That previous day value area low is going to be a big trigger point because you've built out this inverse shoulder here now. All right, so if it's going to be a long, it's going to have to get back above here. Until that point, this is looking more and more probable. But you're in that chop zone. In that chop zone. Almost there, folks. 7 more likes. Do me a favor, smash that like button, share this stream on your socials for me. The quicker we grow this stream this year, the more stuff I can give away. Apex being very, very kind, giving us lots of accounts. So the bigger this gets, the more accounts I get to give away, and I give them all back to you guys. And it's just a nice process then. And then we can start looking at some other firms to do the same. Yes, right on that initial balance low right now. Where's value for this session? Value area low, 50s. Still protecting that so far. VIX starting to find a bid here, trading back up to that 1650 here on the VIX. Getting close. If it breaks out through that, there is a bigger fail here in the market. Every time we've come up there this morning, we have failed. Let's have a look at liquidity. Is there anyone lower? There is. 35s. There's a guy hanging out at 35s to get filled. Man, you can see how thick it is here. Just feels so dangerous right now. I feel like we want to go lower, but I just lack confidence to come into here at this point after chopping these areas for so long. I want to see a move away from it. All right, I'm going to have to grab some food here and come back. Let this build out the liquidity and make that decision. Right now, I don't want to touch it between Globex low and previous day value area low. Outside of that area, maybe I'll get some interest, but I'll be back 1 minute. Just need to get some food. All right, what we doing? Same thing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, folks. I don't mind sitting here a bit longer. We can do some lessons and stuff if it's not moving. You guys let me know any questions you've got, anything you want to go over. Happy to look at it. What's this hourly doing? No expansion yet in the hourly. Very dangerous level we keep trading into on that hourly. Who do you guys go and watch after I get off stream, or do you finish for the day? Other traders? ES really looks like it wants to break down here. I'm just not convinced on NQ yet. Tesla selling though. Big levels here. H1 hasn't sustained an auction underneath this level all day. And this isn't RBS zone. This is from Friday and Thursday. Does it? I've never watched it. Cami Capital, yeah, Cami's a good trader. He trades volume as well. Cami's a good trader. Good bloke. No bullshit with Cami. I rate him. I like him as a person, how he carries himself. I think he's a good dude, and I like how he trades. Just because there's more volume on it, Idris. That's the only reason. Cami probably even more of a volume trader than I am, I think. Like, I like trading momentum, but I respect the volume areas where I think Tammy is a true volume trader from what I understand. I think he will literally, if he sees a break, like a trade into a value area, he'll quite happily take the opposite position. Or if we're in a momentum long and it's pulling back to, let's say, previous day value area high and we're above it and pulling back, he'll take a long. Or if it's into a low volume node or a high volume node, he'll trade that. Which is fine. That's that's how you should be trading volume. I like trading momentum with volume. I like structure and traps. That's just how I trade. It's just slightly different. But he's really good. Cammy's the reason you found me, Bradley. Oh, that's interesting. Why? Because you were searching volume. JD, Ninja Trader. Yeah, who's on Ninja? They trade volume as well. I'm trying to think. Stowe still on there? I remember when it got announced when I was talking to Ryan behind the scenes. Stowe and there's another guy who's really good. I don't know if I've never watched it. He owns Order Flow Labs. Can't remember his name. Great trader. Rate him highly. Yeah, Stowe's big on Delta. Yeah, he loves reversals. He's phenomenal, to be honest. Great trader. How do I plot the volume range since it's very subjective? I don't see what's subjective about it. I plot it for New York. There's no subjectivity for it for me. From New York, and this is a continuation, right? This is extending right all the time. So it's watching all the volume in New York. So like, for example, we now know, all right, in the New York session, we have built out volume here. This is value on the day. This is the most traded level on the day. This is the over-under on the day. This is where we're trading over, and we'll come back to it. If we start breaking below value, all right, and they sustain an auction, we can trade downside. Otherwise, longs so far, bulls are living in this area, which is not surprising because it's previous week close and previous day low, all right? So this is where bulls are living right now. If we break under them, if these higher time frame bulls get liquidated, then we're going to move to previous week POC, I would imagine. So if we're going to do one of these, that's where we're going to go. But right now, this is a big level, so I'm slightly cautious over here about looking for a short. Even though we're in a strong sell intraday, it feels slightly risky how they built this out. Leo, that's it. That's it, JD. I think Leo's a very good trader. Very, very good trader. I'm not familiar with XYZ. Not familiar with him. But I know they did a lot of due diligence on who they were going to take on. There's a few people that took on, which I was somewhat surprised, let's put it that way, but I'm not going to name names. But the Order Flow Labs guys I think are fantastic traders. Anyone who talks nonsense about them is straight up an idiot. Those guys are great traders, and I think they carry themselves well. We'll watch TTE and Wix 9 for gold. I don't know either of those guys. Tradeify, yeah, a few of them saying Tradeify. I've never watched Tradeify. Cammy switched from ICT to volume. He said it made him more profitable. Not surprised there. Not surprised there. Volume is what has always controlled the market. ICT's teachings are good. Let's just get that right. ICT's teachings are good. There is a lot of stuff which makes sense. For example, right, this fair value gap, all right, is a low volume node. Funny that. And if we don't defend this low volume node, which buyers should have done, then what do we get? We get buyers above it that are stuck. All right, so it's just a different way of interpreting the same thing. But some fair value gaps are not actually low volume nodes, and that's when they will not work. All right, when they will not work, they don't become. Here's another one. That's a low volume node, and we traded the other side low volume node. There's probably some in here somewhere, which are like here, for example, somewhere I'd imagine there's one. Like here, there you go. This will not work. This is a very high volume node. So volume won't lie, right? Volume is not a if, but, or maybe. It is what's already happened. All right, here we go. So like I said, don't fully trust this because we're trading towards an area where higher time frame buyers are hanging out, and we failed to break down. We talk about this every day. This for shorts failed to create a new low. This is where shorts get stuck down here. They need to get under here. All right, like I said, I don't mind trading short if we reject all of this and get under here and we trap all these buyers. Until then, I think we will continue to rotate. Where will we rotate? Well, the same areas as it's told you all day. Rotation, continuation, failure, rotation, get above here. Maybe we go back to highs, right? Maybe this can do something like this. It's possible. Maybe it peaks into here, fails up here, comes back down. I don't know, folks. All I know is we've taken the low-hanging fruit right now. Bradley, I started learning volume profile to move away from ICT. I think that's probably somewhat wise move. What is the channel for Cami? Cami Capital, I think is what it's called, or at least it used to be. I'm swaying more to gold at the minute. NQ is becoming messy. Yeah, that's true. Like gold is still in a trend, right? The difference is, if you go to a daily on gold, right, we are in breakout, right? Gold is in breakout, so it's very directional, right, which is fantastic. That's what you want. If we go to NQ, right, we're not in breakout right now. We go to a daily, that's gold. Can we go to a daily on NQ, please? Let's go to NQ. Here we go. We go to a daily. All right, we're not in breakout. All right, we were in breakout from early September. Breakout, retest, breakout. We are now in consolidation. All right, we're in a range. Very different markets to trade. FCT code on trade day doesn't give price of 59. It shows 11.50. Have they changed it then? Let me have a look. Maybe they've changed it and I didn't know. If that's the case, I'm dreadfully sorry. Let me have a look. It's 30% off now. Yeah, 30%. That's why FCT would get you 30% now. All right, back to previous day value area low. Lunchtime coming here in 7 minutes. We're 2 likes away, folks. We need to get 120 likes and we'll do that giveaway for you. Matt Cowart trades futures too. I just don't care for all the music he plays. He doesn't really respond often either. I have no idea who that is either, Idris. So out the loop for a lot of these guys. Options end of quarter, I think they will take QQQ to 600, 601 by close. What? 600, 601? I mean, that's 60 points lower. By close today? I don't think so. QQQ, no chance. Not today, mate. 60, you think we're going 60 points lower today? Or do you mean end of year? End of year, maybe you mean. Do you mean end of the new quarter? Yeah, that's him. Cammy's from New Zealand. Yeah, that's him. That is him. I haven't seen him do anything for a while. I thought he stopped. I thought he stopped trading for a bit. Maybe he's back. I don't know. Good guy though. Good dude. I like Cammy. He's one of the good guys. Oh, what am I watching? Oh my god. Am I way off? Oh, I see what you're looking at. What was I watching? I had my SPY chart up on QQQ. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? 600, not 66. 600. Okay, that makes sense. 2 points. Okay, my bad. God, what a bad read that is. Thank God you told me that, because I had SPY up on 2 charts there for some reason. 600. Well, yeah, you've got liquidity 59944, 59962. Break that, we go 600. Break. You've got a shelf there at 600.70, and you get through that, you go 602s. We are still stuck. This market is absolutely stuck. Okay, here we go. 120 of you in the room. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway here, folks. Why can I never remember how to do this? Nightbot. I can never remember what it's called. Complete brain freeze. Good sign for me to stop trading when I can't think properly. Okay, keyword. Anyone can join. All right, so today the keyword's going to be, some of you trying to do it quickly, I've changed it already. And it won't count, you're right. The keyword's going to be Apex 80, all one word, Apex 80. I'll put it in chat so you can see it, Apex 80. That is the keyword today. Because it's 80% off for Apex, it's your last chance to get 80% off for Apex. All right, Apex 80 is your keyword. And if you want 80% off and $85 for the activation, you need to use code FCT, or you don't need to, but it would help me reinvest in the stream if you did. And give you guys a couple minutes to do that. All right, back to these 800s. This is fun, isn't it? The 800 game. The 800 game. Oof! What was that swipe? I look down and I look up and we're swiping. We're swiping. All right, are they going to do the trap and go all the way back to highs? Trump here, investigating other countries' pharma trade practices, working on similar agreements with other drug companies. Drugs will be available through the government website. Pfizer to invest $70 billion into the US. All right, so we're back to that New York Open, that blue line. Tapping New York Open. Stuck between value and New York Open. We have an imbalance here on a 5-minute. This is where we faded from, and we've just tapped into that sort of imbalance area where we got thin on that fade down. So where we got thin on that fade down is where we're trading back into right here. We're going to get rid of this now. All right, this level here is where we got thin. This is where we get thick. Okay, we get thicker here. We are thin in here. We are trading into that. If they reject this, we can come down here. If they reclaim this, this is the squeeze. I'm probably done for the session here, folks. Okay, let's pull a winner here. I'll give you guys 10 more seconds. If you haven't entered, Apex 80 is what you got to type. Let's pull a winner. All right, Brandon, you are the winner. Brandon Olson. Let me know you're here, Brandon. Let me know you're here, my friend, and then just shoot me an email and we'll get you set up. Hey, there he is. Nice. All right, dude, just shoot me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Just let me see the back end of your YouTube. Just show me that's you, prove that it's you. And I will sort you out a free Apex account. Congratulations. We'll do one more draw this week. At least one more Apex account giveaway this week. And what we will also do is I'll do a little Flowzone package at some point this week as well. Any questions, folks, before we shut down here? Because we're into lunch. We're into this new hour. Not much to do here right now, folks. Not seeing follow through. We're inside that range. We're doing everything we expected. We expect chop. That's what we expect. Nvidia trying to do that kind of same inverse head and shoulder look. The rest of the market's still not joining. Microsoft's green. Apple's just about green, but doesn't look very good. Tesla's hanging out near low of day underneath initial balance. That looks terrible. Meta's like recovered, probably about coming into midpoint of the session for Meta. Same kind of move for Google, probably retraced 50% by the looks of it. Amazon looks very weak, does not look good. This market looks very dangerous right now, not in unison. All right, team. I'm going to call it. Let's do a little review before we go so you can see what you're looking at for this afternoon session. Yeah, I would keep my eyes, if I was you, on this hourly chart down here. This hourly chart is doing not very much right now, but it is respecting. Beginning of the day, we talked about this green level. This was your gap fill, weekly gap fill. We are respecting the weekly gap fill, which is also an RBS. All right, all the time, remember. Resistance, 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 breakout, pullback, support. All right, we're still bidding off this. Until we break under this, there's no true short down. All right, the other thing that we're stuck at is the SBR level. All right, support, support, support became resistance. All right, so we're trading right now between sort of 870s and 720s as an extreme, but most of the volume is being created in here. All right, if we get a breakout above here, this can happen. If we get a breakout below here, this can happen. We can also have failures to trade in range, failures to trade in range. That's what I'd be looking at for the rest of the day. I would probably ignore anything which is happening in this internal range, or if you go to a 5-minute chart, we could ignore pretty much anything happening in here. Right, and you can wait for the extremes. It's absolutely fine to wait for the extremes. Remember, the low-hanging fruit has gone. We are still holding this 5-day. It is the same on the spiders. We are holding a 5-day until we break beneath the 5-day. Once we break beneath, we might come and revisit the 20-day. That will be a mean reversion. All right, if we get down to there, that will be a mean reversion. One thing I would say is ES and spiders already did a mean reversion last week. They completed that move. So we have divergence. So just err on the side of caution. Let me just have a look what we've got coming later this week, because I think that might be somewhat decisive. Wednesday, tomorrow, new home sales. No, that's not tomorrow. That's last week. What are we at tomorrow first? ADP employment, construction spending, PMI 945, ISM 10 o'clock. So, don't think that will move the market too much. Thursday, though, jobless claims. A lot of eyes are going to be on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. jobless claims. That's going to be a big number. Friday, NFP. And of course, on top of all of this, we've got potential government shutdown. All right, that's what everyone's looking at the moment. If we get government shutdown, the last time that happened was 2011. We sold off 20%. Right? Just be aware of that. We sold off 20%. They've said if we go to a gov shutdown, we get no NFP numbers. All right? We get no data this week if we shut down the government. That will scare the market. Market will not like that. Why? Because we don't have numbers. How can we be risk on? We have to go risk off. So just be aware of those numbers. I will repeat. Today is your last chance, right? Ends at midnight, New York time. Not this, not this, this. All right. Apex 80% sale with the $85
for activation. Today is your last chance to get it. It's your last chance to get it. The link's underneath. I have not heard about an extension sale. I have not heard anything else. They've not told me about any new sales. Normally, I know ahead of time, which normally means you're probably going back down to like a 50% sale or something for at least a few weeks. All right. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. This is still on sale. You can use code FCT. Will get you 10% off at flowzonetrader.com. And also today is the last chance to get Tradeify. They have 40% off. All right. It's the last chance. You can only get 2 accounts for that. It's your last chance to do it. Again, codes are all underneath. Codes are all and links are all underneath. I will be back tomorrow morning. I'm going to set price alerts the rest of the day. I advise that you do the same. I do not want to get caught in any of this. Genuinely, we had the best moves of the day. Unless something significantly changes, I doubt there's much more action in here. Unless we get a breakout, either side of the range or a failed breakout, we are done, folks. All right. Be happy with what you get. When you make money in a rotational market, you're trading well. Peace and love. Peace in the Middle East. None of that. Peace and love. Look after each other. Use hard stops. Be kind. All right. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself as well. We will be back tomorrow morning. Those in Discord, I will see you in there. I'll pop in, especially if I get a price alert go off. I'll definitely come back. But if not, I would say just be happy with what you got. All right. Take care. See you tomorrow.